Let's see how he'll do. And he is off! Paul roadblock fights and he has begun. He is climbing up the spider climb as fast as he can. About the same pace as Blushy Baby Guy. He is going very fast. Paul, come on. Come on, you have to go. Alright, Paul, the salmon ladder. Can he do it? Paul's doing it as well as he can. Come on, Paul. Come on. He is going up. Come on, Paul. Can he make it? Paul Roblox YC. Can he do it? Paul, he's done it again. He goes for it, and he cannot get it. And just like that, the tournament's over. Tournament's over. SASUKE Craft is back. Now in the fall of 2025, 50 determined challengers are ready to take on the course after last one's brutal defeat. Today we will see special guests, all-stars, new stars, and every other competitor alike. Can anyone make it to the top of the tower and become the second different grand champion and achieve our 4th Constant Seha overall? Well, we are about to find out who will succeed and who will have heart-crushing failure. Find out in the 12th minute of the ultimate survival attack, SASUKE Craft. Hello everybody and welcome to SASUKE Craft Tournament 12. I'm your host, Han Galactic, and today we are about to see 50 competitors for the second time in a row take on the 4-stage obstacle course. Last tournament we saw the first ever group of 50 competitors take on the first stage, and unfortunately only 2 of them could clear, and both of those 2 went down on the second obstacle of stage 2, the crank dive. Those 2 and 48 others are now about to take on the first stage, where it all begins. So let's head down to the start line. The first stage, 8 obstacles that competitors must battle across without making a simple mistake, and it all begins with the brand new snake bite. 3 ledges that competitors must run and jump across without making a simple error. Speed and precision is key on this obstacle. Following that is the hanging hook, the ninja killer of the last tournament, which holds the record for the most amount of failures. It's the exact same as last tournament except for the final jump, as now the wrap has been made easier with a lip on the 3rd hook. Then it's another new challenge, the hop rocket. Competitors must jump off a bouncer and time their jump right to land onto a pillar and then make a jump to a pad. Then it's the jumping spider back for its 4th tournament in a row, and following that is another new challenge on the first stage, this time being the chargeovers. Competitors must use a winch charge to bounce off the wall and then head back underneath the platform where they started. Skipping the wall will result in disqualification. Then it's the iconic Great Wall, making its 3rd appearance in a row and 6th appearance total. Then it's the flying shoe, which only 3 competitors could make it to in the last tournament and only 2 competitors could beat. Rounding out the first stage is the beanstalk climb for the 2nd tournament in a row. Competitors must climb up a beanstalk as fast as they can to make it to the finish line, where they will have 100 seconds to clear this first stage. Well, now that we've seen the obstacles of the first stage, let's take a look at some of the competitors who will be attempting it.
Exogen is the winner of Survivor Cosmistun, and he is making his first appearance. Climbable is back after not competing since Tournament 7. The Silver Seals look to make their mark here in Tournament 12, and they want revenge on the first stage. Also wanting revenge are the All-Stars. 6 All-Stars will be attending the first stage tournament, all of which failed in the last tournament. Then it's Corey Sneeko and Norwegian, the only 2 competitors who were able to clear the first stage in the last tournament. Joining them will be your favorite hen, the new star, and rounding out the first stage will be Blushy Baby Kai. Well, now it is officially time to begin the first stage. Let's head on down to the start line where our first challenger is waiting. 50 challengers from all across the world have traveled here to face 241 blocks. They must complete all of that in only 100 seconds. The first stage made its mark in the last tournament, and our competitors are looking to fight back. And now it is officially time to begin with our first competitor. Kicking us off on the first stage will be the MC Survivor host, Phantomize65. He's the host of a Minecraft Survivor. It's very good. I'd recommend checking it out. Survivor Fruit Fighters. And he is off. Tournament 12 of SASUKE Craft has officially begun. Phantomize is going through. Snakebite, first look at this. He makes it through. He's taking his time. Not going to have the speed for this jump, but he makes it nonetheless. Now, I'm pretty sure he's more of a Java competitor, so let's see how he can do on a Bedrock course. He's going to, looks like he's going to make it through on a third hook of the hang hook. First appearance here. And he's going to make it through. Phantomize doing better than a lot of competitors from the last tournament. Alright, lining up the hop rocket. He's the first to face this. Jumps on the bouncer. Undershoots the pillar. He cannot grab onto that pillar. Phantomize run ends. But still, that was a very decent run. Let's take a look at what happened. You can see here, when he went to jump for, he just jumped too early. And then he just barely missed that ladder. He was so close. But Phantomize is eliminated on the first stage. Next up on the first stage is Lamau020, the host of MC Ninja Rise to the Top. That had its first tournament a bit ago. And now he's going to be making his first appearance here in SASUKE Craft. Alright, going through. A little caught up on the snakebite. This snakebite is not really similar to any other obstacle we've seen in SASUKE Craft. Going to skip that third ledge. It is allowed. As now he's into the hang hooks. Oh, he misses the jump into the first hook. Well, you should already know who's next. It's Joe Collar, the SASUKE Craft Clash 2 Grand Champion. Still don't know how he won that. What is his skin this time? Who even knows? But Joe Collar, he actually got kind of far. He got a top 20 finish in the last tournament, going down the piano keys. His best result was when he timed him on the warp wall in Tournament 7. He was 0.1 second away from clearing the first stage, but who knows? As Joe Collar... Oh, he's down on the hanging hooks. Joe Collar. I'm not really surprised. I mean, he did beat in the last tournament, but he's out this time. Next up on the first stage is JoJo Gamer 127, a game show player and host. We have another newcomer, the third newcomer this tournament. Let's see how he can do on the first stage. And he's off. JoJo heading through. I've heard he's pretty decent at parkour, so let's see how he can do on the first stage. See if that can hold up. He's doing a weird technique on the snake bite, but it's going to pay off. You don't really need to do all that, but hey, whatever works, works. He's really lining up this obstacle. I mean, it did take out 2 competitors in a row, but looks like he's going to make it through and get a second to beat it. JoJo Gamer gets the wrap, and now he is into the hop rocket. No one's beating this today. He goes another weird technique, but he lands on it. Gotta get this dismount. Don't underestimate it. He's got it. He'll be our first look at the jumping spider this tournament. JoJo Gamer. Alright, for the mount. He goes for it. And, oh, he can't stick it. JoJo Gamer down on the mount. Although the jumping spider has been in every tournament of the Reformation era, you can still never underlook it. But let's take a look at this run again. He had a really odd technique on the snake bite, a weird momentum technique, but it worked. And then he was the first to beat the hop rocket, another weird technique. He had a lot of weird techniques on every obstacle. But then here, on the jumping spider. He just jumped way too early, and he could not make it. But JoJo Gamer, hopefully he comes back next tournament. He has a lot of potential. Weazo belt into the hop rocket. Oh, no! Blank now, going through. Oh, he walks off! Jan Tajeko, more known on Roblox. Oh, and that's why. The 8th competitor to take on the first stage of this tournament is Jason the Worst, the Roblox Wipeout player. In the last tournament, he went down on the first obstacle, which was very unfortunate. But Jason, he's become a lot more known in the community, especially in that Jack's Broadcasting Network game shows, like in Trash Out, one of the best Trash Out players from the recent seasons. So let's see if he can use that success. He's already set himself a new personal best, as Jason the Worst is going through. And he gets it. Took a little bit to line that up, but nonetheless, he made it through. A little bit of a stumble there, but he does make it through the hanging hooks. Nice. Into the hop rocket, going right for it, and he'll land it. All right, Jason the Worst will really line up that jump, and he is now the 2nd competitor to make it into the jumping spider. Jason, a lot better than he did in the last tournament. A great sophomore tournament so far. And he does that skip. Nice work from Jason, really lining that up. Just gotta get the dismount though. And he will. He will be the first ever look at the charge reverse. This obstacle is very tricky. He goes right for it, and he gets a beautiful bounce. Jason the Worst is now on to the Great Wall. Can he get in one? He can. Nice work from Jason. Jason is now 2 obstacles away, but now this brutal flying shoe. Only 2 competitors could get past it in the last tournament. Jason goes for it. He gets... No, he doesn't even get a jump. Jason is down on the flying shoe. I thought he got a jump, but no, he didn't. He tried jumping too late, and that cost him. Let's take a look at that run again. He was the first to land that mount of the jumping spider, and then took a very long time on the dismount, but eventually did make it through. Then here on the charge reverse, just went right for it. He made it look effortless. But then here on the flying shoot, he just could not get a jump, and Jason is out. A great sophomore tournament, though, from him. Hopefully he comes back next tournament and can get his first stage 1 clear. Well, we're 8 runs in, and we're already having more success than we did in the last tournament. And looking to become our first stage 1 clear is a rising star. The 9th competitor to take on the first stage is Wing Raider. He started his career in Tournament 1, where he would go down on the last obstacle stage 1, the elevator climb. After failing the jump dangle in Tournament 2, he would miss out on Tournament 3, but would come back in Tournament 4, where he would unfortunately time up on the Tarzan jump and jumped into the water as he was doing so. Then he would not compete until Tournament 7, but he did not make waste of the break, as he would finally get his first stage 1 clear on the SASUKE Craft, but unfortunately go down on the double compressor on stage 2, being one of 2 to do that in that tournament. However, Kevin would miss out on Tournament 8, skipping another tournament. But when he came back in Tournament 9, he would fail in the reverse fly, the 3rd obstacle. And since then, he started to curse to fail in the 3rd obstacle, as he's failed the piano keys in the exact same way in the past 2 tournaments, of just not getting a jump on the first key. But now, Kevin is back onto the SASUKE Craft course for his 4th appearance in a row. This is the longest he's competed without missing a tournament. So hopefully we'll keep that streak alive, but Kevin, you never know if he's going to run, but he has been participating in the past few tournaments, and he's off once again. Let's see if he can finally beat the 3rd obstacle of this tournament, as he's going through the snake bite. Gets onto the 2nd ledge. Oh no! Kevin! Just walks off that 2nd ledge. What just happened? Kevin! Oh no, he didn't pause. And he turned too early, or too late actually, and Kevin is out. Next up on the first stage is the TV show director, Pondfish55, the newcomer. Now, I don't really know what he means by TV show director. I don't think he's talking about real life, but hey, you never know. And he's off. Pondfish55, let's see what he can do in his newcomer appearance, number 10. Alright, he's going through the snake bite. He makes it through. Oh my god, he almost fell off the side. That would have been really unfortunate. Alright, he barely lands on that second hook, and now he jumped to the fourth, which will land. Alright, and now pawn fish 55. Oh, that was a really early jump. I'm not sure how he stuck that, but he did make it through. As now he's into the jumping spider. Pawn fish gets the mount. Looks like he's going for the skip. He is. And pawn fish. Oh no, he slips off. He loses traction inside the jumping spider. Let's take a look at this. On the first obstacle, he almost fell off the side of the sand pit. But then here on the jumping spider, oh, when he went for it, and he turned out and just slipped off. He just lost his traction. He's not the first person to fail that dismount, though, but he is eliminated. Still a decent newcomer appearance. DeCrantis 13, moving through the jumping spider, and he slips. Oh, no. Forrest making his way towards the jumping spider, and he misses a mount. Brando going through. He overshoots the fourth hook. Well, the first stage, although we have not seen any clears yet, has still been a lot more successful than the last tournament has. 13 runs and 0 clears. But looking to change that is our special guest for this tournament, making his first appearance in any Minecraft Ninja Warrior competition. And he's ready to make it a good debut. The 14th competitor to take on the first stage is Zaijin, the newcomer, the winner of Survivor Cosmi-san, a Minecraft Survivor hosted a while ago. Let's see if he can use his Survivor skills here in the SASUKE Craft course. Jordan, very interesting Survivor player, but he did win, so he did deserve it. If you win, you deserve it. That's my mindset. But now he is going through. Zaijin. Oh no, he gets caught up. Come on, Jordan. Line up, and he makes it through. Alright, and Jordan now gets it. Barely landed on that third ledge. Into the hanging hooks. And nice, he makes it. Alright, Jordan put on a decent performance. Now in the parkour competitions of Survivor Cosmi-san, he did not do the best. But then again, he was also a lot newer to Minecraft than he is now, so maybe he's improved, and he certainly has. He's going pretty well through this course. Alright, the jumping Spider-Man causing a lot of trouble today, actually. But he goes for the skip, and Jordan is going to be the second competitor to make it through. And now it's time for the charge reverse. Jordan lines it up, and he goes for it, and he makes it. Alright, nice. Jordan now, the Great Wall. Alright, first attempt. Going to do a backward strategy. Doesn't work on his first attempt. Oh, almost up on his second, but he's not. Not up on his third. Come on, Jordan. Not up on his fourth, but he gets it on his fifth. All right. That wasted a lot of time. He's going to have to hurry. Only 30 seconds left for 2 obstacles. And now the flying chute. This is a big jump. He was very nervous about this obstacle. Can he stick it, though? Jordan, he goes for it. He gets a jump, but he cannot land on the rope. Jordan is eliminated on the first stage. The farthest anyone's gotten today, though. Jordan, he did a nice skip on the jumping spider that a lot of other competitors have learned. But here on the Great Wall, he was actually at a decent pace. But this warp wall just, he couldn't get up it until one of his later attempts. And that wasted a lot of time. He had less than 30 seconds when he got up the wall. And then here, he jumped too early, did not have the momentum to make it there. But Jordan still a stellar run for his first appearance. And hopefully he comes back next time. Well, he just watched Jordan run, and now Jordan's going to be watching him run. This is Defense Soup 3. He competed in the last tournament and failed the second jump of the first stage, which has been a very common joke in my school. Now, if you didn't know, Jordan and Defense Soup are both of my IRL friends, so it's pretty cool to see them run. I have 4 IRL friends running this tournament, so let's see who will do the best. Jordan put a very high bar, especially with Defense Soup 3's performance in the last tournament. But if he gets this, he'll set a new personal best. Yes, he has. All right, come on. And Defense Soup 3 with a little bit of lag has made it through. All right, the second obstacle now. He goes for it. He lands it. Nice. Come on, defense. And oh no, he misses the jump into the third hook, but still better than last tournament. 15 runs down, and still no clears. But our next competitor is Quiet Quail, and he definitely has the potential to do so. He was the best newcomer of the last tournament as he missed the mount into the jumping spider, being one of only 7 to make it to the jumping spider in the last tournament. But let's see how the top newcomer from the last tournament can do here in tournament 12. Quiet Quail. Now, if you don't know, last tournament he just joined the game randomly off of Friends of Friends and asked if he could run, and he did pretty good, so he decided to come back for this tournament. So hopefully he becomes a regular competitor that we see in these tournaments, because he has a lot of potential, and he's shown that potential here as he makes it through the hanging hooks 2 times in a row. All right, Quiet Quail, nice. The hop rocket, no challenge for him. All right, now time for some revenge. The jumping spider, can he at least stick them out? He can. All right, come on, Quiet Quail. He is going through, and Quiet Quail walks off the third ledge. No! Quiet Quail is eliminated on the first stage once again. Let's take a look at that. Quiet Quail, he did land the mount, but then here, he jumped too late, which gave him not enough time to react and jump to that second panel of honey. He was trying to skip, and he could not get it. Next up on the first stage is Kogi of Wisdom, the Roblox athlete. This is his 4th appearance, and his skin, if you didn't know, somehow, if you didn't know, is his dog Buddy. He is very passionate about his dog. That's how you can recognize Kogi, is his dog. You see dogs like, oh, that's Kogi of Wisdom. But he is not being the first obstacle since tournament 9, and it's gonna stay that way. Kogi of Wisdom, along with Buddy, is out on the first stage. The next competitor on the first stage is the host of Rock Warrior Hand You the Hand 400. Now, the last time we saw him, I believe, was tournament 9. I do not think he competed in the last tournament. So, let's see how he can do. And in tournament 9, he went down on the rowing log, which at the time was the second obstacle. Now, it's a much harder hanging hook, so Dosis has a lot of challenge to overcome. So Dosis is going through. He does make it through the first obstacle, and now it's time for the second obstacle. He lines it up, and he undershoots the first hook. Dosis is out, but at least he came back this tournament. Next up is another competitor we haven't seen since tournament 9. This is the pig, Sizzle the Bacon. Now, his most known achievement was in second place in Super SASUKE Tournament 2, found the final jump of Stage 3. And now Sizzle the Bacon is off. Last time we saw him in Tournament 9, he failed on the inside portion of the jumping spider, and the jumping spider has been very difficult this tournament. And he's going to make it through the snake bite, Sizzle the Bacon. He did try to get into Tournament 10, but just did not get top 3 in the trials, and then did not compete in the last tournament. As Sizzle the Bacon, nice work into the hop rocket, gets the bounce, and he is going to make it through. Now the jumping spider, time for some revenge. Sizzle goes for the mount, lands it, all right, and gonna go, oh no! Sizzle the Bacon, that is a bad way to go out on the jumping spider. He had that too. Let's take a look at that again. He made the mount, and then here, oh, Sizzle the Bacon, when he went for it, he just was going way too fast for his own good, and it cost him. Sizzle the Bacon for a second time down on the jumping spider. That is very unfortunate. Well, next up is a competitor that has seen success in the older tournaments, but has recently not been doing the best, and he wants to change that. Next up is Wild Sasuke 67, the veteran. In Tournament 1, he would fail the dismount of the jump angle, shocking everybody, including himself. This would spark him to train for Tournament 2, and he did not underdeliver. As in Tournament 2, he would finally get his first stage clear in SASUKE Craft, getting the fastest time along with him. But his tournament did not end there, as he would go on to become the second competitor to clear the second stage, making it to the third stage, continuing his Cinderella story. However, on the third stage, he would go down the pole grass room, missing the jump to the second pole. In Tournament 4, he would fail the music box, and in Tournament 5, he would have another shocking fail, failing the dismount of the jump dangle. That would cause him to miss out on Tournament 6 and 7, but in Tournament 8 would come back, would fail on the candlesticks, and in the last tournament failed on the hanging hooks. But now, Jakari is back, the owner of Jakari's Laboratory. Let's see how he can do. Jakari, he really wants his second first stage clear. And this tournament, he definitely has the ability to do so. He's begun on the snake bite, heading through. And he gets that jump to the second ledge. And it's going to go for the third ledge. Really lining up. He's taking a really long time. What is he doing? Jakari taking a very long time. He finally goes for it. He took a long while there. I don't know what he was doing. But Jakari is heading through the hanging hooks. This is the jump he failed in the last tournament. And he makes it through. Alright, he's achieved revenge on the second obstacle. And he has not defeated the fourth obstacle in a long time. He's only beaten the fourth obstacle of Stage 1 twice in Tournaments 2 and 3. Looking to change that here. He does get the mount into the jumping spider, going straight for it. Not going to go for the skip. Alright, he struggled with dismounts of the fourth obstacle, as seen in Tournament 1 and 5, but he's got it. This is a top 3 run from Jakari. As now he's into the charge reverse. He goes for it, and he does not get a bounce off the wall. Jakari is down on the charge reverse. Let's take a look at that again. Jakari. Oh, another stage 1 fail. Jakari, I don't know what he was doing here, but he took a very long time to line up the jump to the third ledge. I don't know if he was waiting for the speed to run out, but then he was able to get revenge on the hanging hooks. But then here, on the charge reverse, when he went for it, he threw the wind charge way too late. You want to throw it a lot earlier than that so you can get a big reflection. But Jakari is down on the first stage once again, and his second stage when clear is going to have to wait even longer. The newcomer from Sierra Leone is not going to get the jump on the hop rocket. Cyan going through the snake bite and walks off that second ledge. He's made it to the third stage before, and he's going to fail on the third obstacle. Next up is the Indonesian competitor, Hectalium. This is his third appearance in Tournament 8. He failed on the first obstacle, and in the last tournament, failed on the piano keys. Let's see how Hectalium will do today. He is known for being a joke competitor in the community, and I mean, he didn't do that bad in the last one. Oh no, Hectalium! That is why he has that reputation. What just happened? Oh no. Hectalium. As you can see here, he was running and he just angled it completely wrong and fell off the first ledge. That is very bad. Hectalium. Oh no. Well, with Hectalium's failure, we have now passed the limit for the most amount of runs without a Stage 1 clear. And looking to break that is a competitor we have not seen in a long time. This is number 25, Clownable, better known as Figgy. He started his career out in Tournament 5 where he'd fail on the crooked wall. And then in Tournament 6, he would come back and would almost clear the first stage, but would make a simple error and would jump too early on the dismount of the flying chute. The last time we saw Figgy was in Tournament 7, where he would get so close to clearing the first stage once again, but would this time up on the warp wall. But now, Figgy is back here at number 25. Will be rounding out the first half of Stage 1 clears. Or not clears, Stage 1 runs. That'd be incredible if all 24 competitors who have ran have cleared, but none of them have. As now Clownable is going through. Figgy, I'm so happy he's back. He tried to compete in Tournament 10, but got eliminated in the trials. And now he is finally back as he is heading into the hanging hooks. Clownable going through, and he misses the jump to the third hook, and he leaves the game. Figgy has rage quit. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, he just jumped way too early and just did not get anywhere near that third hook. He is out. Well, now it is time for the second half of competitors on the first stage, and kicking them off is the newcomer, Crushery1087, the newcomer from Australia. Crushery, he's more known on Roblox, but he's been doing pretty good in Craftscape before it got canceled, and he's a pretty good trash out competitor. He's known for notoriously failing the final jump of every trash out zone, but he did finally win an episode, I think, not that long ago, so let's see how Crushery can do here on SASUKE Craft. Crushery was really wondering when this was going to be hosted, so when it was announced, he probably was very excited to run. And he is doing a little bit of some odd techniques, but nonetheless, he's making it through into the hop rocket, and he gets it, and he gets the dismount. All right, time for the jumping spider. Crushery goes for the mount, and he gets it, and he overshoots the second ledge. He is the first person to even do that, and I didn't even think that was going to ever happen. Let's take a look at that, Crushery. He made the mount, and then when he jumped for, he had so much momentum and force going on that he just overshot the second ledge. Oh, no. The 27th competitor on the first stage is Big Bob 1985. Now, Big Bob, every tournament he's just done worse and worse. In Tournament 8, he timed up running to the buzzer. In Tournament 9, he timed up on the last obstacle climbing up it. In Tournament 10, he failed on the jumping spider. In the last one, he failed the third obstacle, the piano keys. So hopefully he can stop that curse as he's heading to the snake bite. Big Bob is down on the first obstacle. The curse will continue. Oh no, Big Bob is down. Well, next up is one of the oldest competing competitors in SASUKE Craft. Not because of his age, but because of how long he's been competing. It's ETN Dream, Minecraft's strongest fisherman. In Tournament 1, he would overshoot the dismount platform of the second obstacle, the hang glider, and then would just struggle on the first stage for the following tournaments, going down the obstacles like the jump angle, music box, and silk slider. However, when it came time for Tournament 8, ETN Dream would become the first clear of the first stage in that tournament, but he did not stop there. After an emotional Stage 1 finish, he would go on and have another emotional clear, becoming the first competitor to clear Stage 2 as well. When it came time for the third stage, ETN Dream did not disappoint, as he would become just the third competitor to ever beat the crazy cliffhanger, but would eventually go down on the sixth obstacle of Stage 3, the triggered trapdoors. In Tournament 9, ETN Dream came in with high hopes for himself, but unfortunately those high hopes would be crushed immediately as he would go down on the third obstacle, the reverse fly. After failing the jumping spider in Tournament 10, he failed the hanging hooks in the last tournament. But now, ETN Dream is back, the veteran from the United Kingdom. Let's see how Minecraft's strongest fisherman can do here. He trained a lot for this tournament, and he wants to make sure that he does good. And he's begun. ETN Dream going through the snake bite. We did just see Big Bob go down. What just happened? He landed on top of it. He didn't use it to progress, so it's fine. But no! He fails the first obstacle! ETN Dream! Well, first, he landed on top here, but it wasn't a disqualification since he didn't use it to help him as he went back down. But then here, he just missed. That jump just walked off. Well, our next competitor is looking to finally get his first Stage 1 clear here in the rebooted series. The 29th competitor to take on the first stage of this tournament is Cam38, the regular, formerly known as Brainish. He would clear Stage 1 in the original Tournament 3 and would get 4th place by going down on the drawbridge. He would get his first Stage 3 appearance in the original Tournament 5, where he would get 5th place as he would go down on the swing edge. Cam made his first appearance in the reboot back in Tournament 6, and he has just struggled on the first stage ever since. In the last tournament, he would get a top 20 finish by going down on the piano keys. However, he's done very well in other competitions, as he's become a Star Challenge veteran, getting to the second stage consistently. Another competition he had success in was SASUKE, where after having dominating performances, would be crowned an all-star and put on dominating runs like that still. But Cam, although he's done very well in other competitions, he's just not been able to put it together here in the SASUKE Craft reboot. He was one of the best original series competitors, but Cam, he really wants to clear. It's not like he's lost his skill either. He's probably better than he was back in the original series. He just cannot make it through this first stage here. Hopefully he can change that. No one's cleared stage 1 so far. But Cam bounding through the hanging hooks, and he is now into the hop rocket. And he goes for it, and he lands onto the pillar. And he misses a dismount. Cam is down on the first stage once again. Cam. He made the mount, made it look easy on the pillar. And then here, oh, he just jumped too early. I thought he had that, but Cam is eliminated. Well, our 30th competitor on the first stage is the Wipeout fanboy of Wipeout Boy 10, the first new star to be taking on this stage today. Now, last time we saw him was in Tournament 9, where he did a 360 off of the mountain climb, which was the last obstacle. He's only cleared once, so me and him made a deal that if he fails stage 1 this tournament, his new star rank will be removed. So he's probably going to try as hard as he did in Tournament 5, where he got to the ultimate cliffhanger, the 4th obstacle of stage 3 as a newcomer, getting 6th place that tournament. But Wipeout Boy 10 making it through. Yeah, after Tournament 5, he just could not do as well as he did. And in Tournament 9, he probably could have cleared, and he just decided to do a 360 off of the mat before the final obstacle. Does a weird technique on the trampoline for the jumping spider, but nonetheless, he's going to make it through with a minute to go into the charge reverse, and he gets it. All right. Now heading into the Great Wall. Come on, Wipeout Boy 10. He's been going at an electric pace so far, not up the Great Wall in 1 or 2. Can he get up it in 3? Yes, he can. Wipeout Boy 10, can he be the first to stick this jump here on the flying chute? Wipeout Boy 10, he goes for it. He lands it. Wipeout Boy 10 is just the 3rd competitor to beat that version of the flying chute. Come on, do not do a 360 off of the mat this time. Looks like he's not going to, as he has made it farther than he did back in Tournament 9. And he is flying up this. Wipeout Boy 10 is going to keep his new star rank and become the first competitor to clear the first stage here in Tournament 12. He's done it. Wipeout Boy 10, that was a dominating run from the new star. The first competitor to clear. We have to take a look at that run again because he just flew past that first stage in an electrifying run here as he made it through the hop rocket, made that look easy. He did struggle a bit on the Great Wall. He got up on his 3rd try. His time probably could have been better if he just made it up on his first attempt. But nonetheless, he still did make it up. And then here on the flying chute, he became the 3rd competitor to ever beat this version and the first today. And then he flew up this beanstalk climb and became the first competitor to hit the buzzer and move on the stage 2 this tournament. Wipeout Boy 10, for the first time since Tournament 5, we will be seeing him on the 2nd stage. Congratulations, Wipeout Boy 10. Well, we have finally seen our first clear, and ending off our day runs is an old competitor that wants revenge on the first stage. The 31st competitor to take on the first stage is Turkey Man 1437, the veteran. Turkey Man will come out of nowhere and become the first competitor to clear stage 1 in Tournament 2. Although he had a good stage 1 run, after that he would fail on the 2nd obstacle of stage 2, the brick climb, missing the 2nd brick. After failing the bungee bridge in Tournament 3, he would have a very unfortunate rising arrow, failing the downhill jump in Tournament 4, and then failing the half-wave attack 2 times in a row. In Tournament 7, Turkey Man would have his worst performance yet, as he would go down on the dismount of the first obstacle, the rolling hill. However, in Tournament 8, Turkey Man would bounce back, as he would clear stage 1 for the first time since Tournament 2, and when it came time for the 2nd stage, Turkey Man did not underperform, as he would get his first stage 2 cleared. And when it came time for the 3rd stage, Turkey Man showed that he was not joking around. When it came time for the 3rd stage, Turkey Man showed that those first 2 stages were not a fluke, as he would become one of 6 to make it through the crazy cliffhanger, but eventually get 4th place by going down on the cheese grater, failing to jump to the 3rd ladder, the 2nd to last obstacle of the 3rd stage. In Tournament 9, Turkey Man would have an unfortunate failure as he would slip off the 5th rope of the Tarzan ropes. In Tournament 10, he would have another underwhelming run, and in the last tournament, would have another very unfortunate run as he would go down on the jump to the 2nd hook of the hanging hooks. But now he is back. Turkey Man 1437, the Thanksgiving meal, makes his 12th straight appearance. Let's see how Turkey Man can do. Alright, and he's off. Turkey Man heading through the snake bite. Alright, now the jump to the third ledge. Lining it up, and he's got it. Alright, Turkey Man now. No, he walks off! He doesn't even jump into the first hook, and he is down on the hanging hooks. Turkey Man. He doesn't even get a jump. Ending off the day runs in a sour note. Oh no, Turkey Man. That is very unfortunate. Turkey Man's out. Well, after 31 runs, we have seen one clear, and the course has finally hit sunset. Now, the 5th and 6th place competitors from the last tournament took on the first stage. Jim Bob working his way through. He overshoots it! Bobo working his way through. He also overshoots it. Oh no! Well, our next competitor is back after missing out on the last tournament, and he's looking to keep his 100% clear streak alive. This is Little Butter 66, the Minecraft modder. So Little Butter, we last saw him in Tournament 10, where as a newcomer at number 298, better known as 28 at the time, cleared Stage 1 with the fastest time. Once again, he missed last tournament, but he is back. He's looking to clear Stage 1 again. He's never failed it, as he's only competed once, and he did beat the first stage there. I mean, Butter getting the fastest time and him clearing overall was just unexpected. But, you know, Butter, another one of the trash out competitors that have really shined in the recent seasons. Anyways, Butter is traversing through the hanging hooks, and he's going to make it through. Okay, there we go. A little bit caught up on that 4th hook as he's into the hop rocket. He lands on the rocket, and Butter walks off the pillar. Little Butter 66 is down on Stage 1 for his first time. Let's take a look at that again. Well, he did a little bit of a weird strategy, mounting onto the snakebite and then skipped that top part of the first ledge. But nonetheless, he made it through. But then here, on the hop rocket, he made it on and just simply walked off. Oh, Butter. That's such an unfortunate error. Butter's ended his Stage 1 clear streak and success rate of 100%, although only one time. Still, it is very unfortunate. Oh. Well, our next competitor is kicking off a duo who wants revenge on this first stage, and they think they could go very far in this competition. The 35th competitor to take on the first stage is Mr. Llama. Llama was the first run of the Reformation era in Tournament 9, and he fell on the 3rd obstacle, the reverse fly. He would one up that performance by getting 2 obstacles farther in the next tournament, Tournament 10, where he would overshoot the wall on the crooked cannonball. However, in the last tournament, Llama would have his worst result yet, as he would go down on the 2nd obstacle, the hanging hooks, missing the 4th hook. But now, Llama is back, the host of Llama's Minecraft Ninja Warrior, and the main organizer of the Minecraft Ninja Nation. Let's see how Llama can do on the first stage, 100 seconds on the clock. And Llama has begun his 4th attempt at the first stage here in SASUKE Craft. Can he finally put it together? Him and Maddie the Div, the Silver Seals, have really been training for this tournament. I think they have a lot of potential to go far this tournament, as Llama is going through the hanging hooks, making it look easy. This is a jump he failed in the last tournament, and he gets some revenge as he's into the hop rocket now. Llama, this is where Butter just failed this dismount, but he gets it. Alright, into the jumping spider. 2nd time getting here. This is already his 2nd best run. But you know he just wants to clear stage run right now. That is all he's focusing on. Is he going to go for the skip? Yes, he is. Llama gets the dismount. Alright, if he beats this obstacle, it will be a personal best. Llama lines it up, and he gets a beautiful bounce. Llama has set himself a new personal best, but now he is fully focused on clearing the first stage. Can he finally get his first Stage 1 clear here in SASUKE Craft? He's done it before in other competitions. Now time for the flying shoot. Can Llama get it? He goes for it. Llama gets a jump, and he lands it. Llama just got to get that dismount, and he will. Mr. Llama is on to the final obstacle of Stage 1, the Beanstalk Climb. A little under 30 seconds to go. He does have enough time. He can take it slow and steady, and that's what he is doing. Mr. Llama. Come on, Llama. 20 seconds to go. Taking his sweet time. Mr. Llama's One more cycle to go. Can he finally get it? Llama, one more jump, and Llama is going to the second stage with 7.9 seconds left on the clock. He has done it. Mr. Llama gets his first stage 1 clear here in SASUKE Craft. Here's Matty the Div to come celebrate with him. Let's take a look at that amazing run again. Llama, he was able to get himself some redemption here on the hanging hooks, getting that wrap. And then on the charge reverse, he set himself a new personal best. He got such a good bounce, perfect height and distance. And then on the flying shoot, he made it look so easy. He landed that jump perfectly. And then he got the dismount. And then on the beanstalk climb, he took his time slow and steady, making it look easy as well. And hit his buzzer for the first time. Llama will be going to stage 2. Llama now gonna go on to the sidelines to support his Silver Seals teammate, Matty the Div, who is currently at the finish line of stage 1. Congratulations, Llama. You're going to stage 2. Well, you already know who's next, and he wants some redemption on this first stage after failing at 2 tournaments in a row. Kicking off the final 15 here in SASUKE Craft Tournament 12 is Matty the Div, the rising star who started his career in Tournament 6. His first real success would come in Tournament 8, where he would get 2 obstacles away from clearing the first stage, but would go down on the 7th obstacle, the slip and stick. However, in Tournament 9, things changed as he became the first clear of the reformation era in Tournament 9, getting his first stage 1 clear. However, his run would be cut short on the second stage on the triple compressor, failing the jump to the third compressor. In Tournament 10, he had to have a shocking fail on the piano keys, the third obstacle of stage 1, and in the last tournament, like many others, would fail on the hang hooks, missing the jump to the 4th hook, overshooting it. But now, Matty the Div is back here on SASUKE Craft Course, the host of Bedrock Sasuke and Bedrock Wipeout. Let's see how Matty can do. Can he get his second stage 1 clear? We've seen 2 people clear the first stage already. Can he be the third? As he's going through. Matty, line it up. Is he going to skip that second ledge? He said he was going to, and he will. And he makes it. Now time for some redemption. Matty. And he lands on that, going straight for the third hook. Now he overshot this jump in the last tournament, but he makes it today. Matty the Div is on to the hop rocket. Gets a jump off the bouncer and lands it nicely. Alright, he's done better than he did in Tournament 10. Now time for the jumping spider. Matty the Div goes for it, and he lands the mount. Alright, he's not going to go for the skip. Alright, that's fine. He's making it look easy either way. Alright, now time for the charge reverse. He failed the 5th obstacle back in Tournament 7, which at the time was the Dragon Glider, but he makes it through the 5th obstacle today. Alright, time for the Great Wall. Matty the Div. Can he get in one? Yes, he can. Nice job, Matty. Now time for the flying shoot. He was nervous about it, but can he stick it? We just saw Llama stick it. Can he be the next? He will be. Matty the Div is now 1 obstacle away. Can we see 2 clears in a row here? Let's find out as Matty the Div is going through into the beanstalk climb. Matty the Div. He is going to take his time. He has a bit under 20 seconds, so he should be fine. He has all the time right now. He's a little final cycle as he's climbing up. Come on, Matty. Matty the Div, the final jump, and Matty will be moving on to stage 2. What is he doing? Matty, you have to hit the buzzer. You can't celebrate yet. Matty, he's not hitting the buzzer. There we go. Matty the Div with 1 second left on the dot has become the 3rd competitor to clear the first stage. Gave me a bit of a scare there. He forgot to hit the buzzer. Or maybe he was doing it on purpose to taunt people, but Matty, he got some redemption on the hanging hooks and then beat the jumping spider. Didn't go for the skip, one of the few people to not go for the skip today. But nonetheless, he made it through. And then on the flying shoot, he was nervous about it, but he still stuck it either way. And then after he made the dismount, it was smooth sailing from there as he was climbing up the beanstalk climb. He probably could have had a decent time, but he did not hit the buzzer. He either forgot or he was most likely taunting us, but eventually he did hit the buzzer, and Matty the Div will be moving on to the second stage, joining his Silver Steel's partner. Congratulations, Matty the Div, as now we have seen 36 runs on the first stage, and we're finally getting some success as we've seen 3 clears. Next up is Trevor the Beast 5, the Mario Kart player. This is another one of my IRL friends, so let's see how he can do. I don't know if he's any good at Minecraft at all, but this was the only number I could really fit him into, so Let's see how Trevor the Beast can do. The last newcomer to take on the first stage today. As Trevor is traversing through. He does make it through the first obstacle. Alright, now he is into the hanging hooks. And he gets it. Now the jump to the third. Lines it up. He gets it again. And the wrap. He's got it. Nice work from Trevor. As he is now into the hop rocket. Goes for it. Nice bounce. Trevor the Beast. He's kind of making this course look easy right now. But still, we still have a lot more to go. 5 obstacles left. Starting with the jumping spider. He was nervous about this obstacle. But he gets them out. He's going to go for the skip. Let's see. Trevor really lining his jump up, and he will go for the skip, and he's going to barely make that dismount. That was a close call there, as he's into the wind charge obstacle, the charge reverse, not the wind charge obstacle. He makes it through. Trevor only has 3 obstacles left to go, as now he's into the Great Wall. Trevor the Beast is up and in 1. Let's go, Trevor. But this is where Jordan failed earlier, so let's see how Trevor will do. Trevor the Beast, the flying chute. Can he get it? He goes for it. He gets a jump, and he lands on the rope. Trevor the Beast 5 is through the flying chute and has 1 obstacle left to go. Can a newcomer be on the second stage? The last time we saw that happen was with Little Butter 66 in Tournament 10. Come on, Trevor. You got this. Trevor the Beast 5 is climbing his way up the beanstalk climb. The final cycle. Trevor the Beast 5. Can he get it? The last jump. Trevor the Beast 5 is moving on to stage 2 with 4.7 seconds left. That is the 3rd clear in a row and the 4th clear overall. That was a very surprising round. I am very surprised Trevor has cleared stage 1. He made this hop rocket look so easy. That was a beautiful bounce. And then here on the charge reverse, he made it look so simple. Got such a good bounce off. And then he got the Great Wall in 1, which was really surprising considering he was struggling with it in practice. But he made it look like a cakewalk. And then the flying chute. He avenged Jordan and everyone else who has failed it by making it look easy. And Trevor got that dismount. And then on the beanstalk climb, although he had a bit stumble, he was still able to climb up nonetheless. And though he missed the buzzer on his first try, he had enough time to try it again and hit it. And Trevor the Beast will be moving on to stage 2, the 4th competitor to clear stage 1. We are finally seeing some more success on this first stage. Congratulations, Trevor, the 4th competitor moving on at 37 runs. Well, our next competitor is back, and he could be making his final appearance today, and he wants some revenge on this first stage. The 38th competitor to take on the first stage in Tournament 12 is AxisArt2348, the new star. He started his career in Tournament 5 where he would fail on the downhill jump, the second obstacle, but out of nowhere in Tournament 6 would not only clear the first stage, but would clear the second stage as well. But then he did not stop there, as AxisArt2348, the man with a distant dream, with that dream becoming reality, as he became the first competitor to clear stage 3 on his first attempt at it, and the first competitor to clear stage 3 as the first competitor taken on in the run order. However, on the final stage, he would not do as well, as eventually, after struggling on the deluxe bricks, would just give up and would eliminate himself from the competition. In Tournament 7, he failed the dismount of the 4th obstacle, the twin triangle, but would come back in Tournament 8 and rack up his second stage 1 clear. He would go on to once again clear the second stage, being one of 9 to do so, keeping his perfect stage 2 clear rate alive. And when it came time for the 3rd stage, AxisArt would shockingly fail on just the second obstacle of the 3rd stage, the swing edge, ruining his 100% clear rate on the 3rd stage. In the reformation era, Axis has not seen the same success, as in Tournament 9 he failed the mount of the jumping spider, shocking everybody. And then in Tournament 10, he would be one of many victims to fail on the piano keys, as he'd walk off the second key. However, in the last tournament, Axis would shockingly fail the second jump of the first stage, going down on the Pillar Alley. But now, the SASUKE Craft 6 finalist, AxisArt2348. Let's see how he will do here on the first stage. Once again, Axis has said this could be his final appearance here in SASUKE Craft and Minecraft jumping as a whole. So let's hope it's a good run to end off his career if it is. Axis now going through. And he will make it through the snake bite, barely landing on that 3rd ledge. Axis now into the hanging hooks. Lands on that second hook. Now the jump to the 3rd. He's done better than they did in the last one. Axis misses the jump to the second hook. Axis is out on the first stage for his 4th tournament in a row. Axis, no. That is so unfortunate, Axis. Oh, you can see here, jumped way too early and had his angles all wrong. And Axis are at 2, 3, 4, 8. That could be the last run we ever see of him. And he is eliminated on the first stage. Well, our next competitor is hiding from us, but it is number 39, Piss God, the God of Piss. He's cleared the first stage twice back in Tournament 7 and Tournament 9. He got 5th place in Tournament 9 as he get his personal best, going down on the mount of the double pendulum, walking off the trampoline, which was the 5th obstacle stage 2 at the time. Anyways, Piss God working through the snake bite, failed the hanging hooks in the last tournament, so trying to get some redemption here as he goes for it, and Piss God fails the jump to the second hook. Piss God is down on the hanging hooks for his 2nd tournament in a row. Oh no, Piss God. Let's take a look at that. Oh yeah, he turned too much. He should have gone for the lower part of the hook. Oh no. The 40th competitor to take on the first stage is Caleb Plays YT824, the first All-Star taking on the first stage today. Formerly known as Akin Oregano 2018, Caleb would clear the first stage in Tournament 1 and would go down on the Hammer Dodge, the second to last obstacle of the second stage. In Tournament 9, he would get revenge on the second stage, clearing for his first and so far only time. He would get 4th place that tournament as he would go down on the cliffhanger, missing the transfer to the 3rd ledge. After timing up on the wall lifting in Tournament 3, he would time up on the first stage this time, timing up on the skull climb as he would miss the jump to the last skull anyways. However, in Tournament 5, he would clear the first stage once again, but this time would sadly go down on the first obstacle of the second stage to stop and go. After missing out on Tournament 6 and 7, Caleb would come back and would clear Stage 1 for his first time in a Minecraft jumping competition in a very long time. However, unfortunately, his amazing comeback run would end there, as he would be the only fail on the second stage, as he'd fail on the spider walk, the 3rd obstacle. He did not compete in Tournament 9 due to a medical emergency, but in Tournament 10, he would unfortunately fail on the piano keys, the 3rd obstacle. And then, in the last tournament, he would sadly fail on the hanging hooks, the 2nd obstacle of Stage 1. But now, Caleb Plays, the host of Country Clash, the All-Star, is ready to give his best shot here on the first stage. Let's see how he can do. And Caleb Plays YT824. Bit of a gamer tag change from Akin Oregano 2018, but Caleb has begun traversing through, making the snake bite look easy so far. He now plays on controller in contrast to mobile, so he could be a bit better now. As now this is the obstacle he failed in the last tournament, as no, he also fails the hanging hooks, the 3rd to do so in a row. Caleb, no! What just happened? Caleb, he jumped too early, no! And just undershot that 2nd hook. For the 2nd tournament in a row, Caleb is down. Or no, the 3rd tournament in a row, Caleb's down on the first stage. 2nd tournament in a row, down on the hanging hooks. Well, now we have seen 40 runs on the first stage. And so far, 4 of the runs have cleared. And now we have the 10 best competitors in SASUKE Craft for this tournament. And kicking them off is an all-star that wants revenge on this first stage. Can he finally clear the first stage once again? Let's find out and how he does in kicking off the final 10. The 41st competitor to take on the first stage of this tournament is Jack is Trash. He started his career out in Tournament 1 by clearing the first stage. However, he did not stop there, as Jack is Trash went on to get to clear the 2nd stage as well, in one of the faster times. However, his run come to an end on the 2nd jump of the cliffhanger, getting 5th place that tournament. After failing Stage 1 in Tournament 2 and not competing in Tournament 3, Jack is Trash would come back in the Rising era, and his career would skyrocket. He'd be one of the 7 to clear the first stage in Tournament 4, but would go down on the double compressor on Stage 2. In Tournament 5, he would get revenge on the 2nd stage, and on just his 2nd attempt on the 3rd stage would clear for his first time in the reboot. However, the final stage did not go as well, as Jack is Trash would have a terrible run on the deluxe bricks and would eventually fail on the first obstacle, getting 3rd place. In Tournament 6, he would be given number 29 and would clear the first stage once again. He would then go on to also clear the second stage, doing so for his second tournament in a row and third time overall. However, this time, Jack is Trash would unfortunately fail on the 5th obstacle to trigger trapdoors, missing the jump to the 4th set of trapdoors. When the regeneration era rolled around, Jack is Trash would declare retirement in Tournament 7, and he did not end off in disappointment, as he'd be one of 12 to clear the first stage, ending off his first stage career with a sweet note. However, he would then go on to become one of the 4 to clear the second stage as well, doing so in an incredible manner, guaranteeing himself top 4 in this tournament. However, 4th place is what he would get, as once again, he would beat the trigger trapdoors like he did in Tournament 5, but would go down on the jump to the second ledge on the crazy cliffhanger, putting his run in full circle. However, he would come back for the very next tournament and fail stage 1 for just the second time on the candlesticks, but in Tournament 9, Jack is Trash came back with revenge, and he got redemption on the first stage as he would clear stage 1 in Tournament 9. However, he would have a very shocking fail on the second stage, hitting his head on the support of the throwback, the 3rd obstacle. Jack's worst run came in Tournament 10, where he would fail just the second jump on the first stage, shocking everybody. And in the last tournament, Jack is Trash would fail on the piano keys, the 3rd obstacle. But now Jack is Trash is back, and he will be kicking off our final 10. The host of Ninja vs. Ninja, which I think might have been canceled by now. But who knows? He's also the host of Trash Out, the biggest Minecraft wipeout competition right now. And let's see how Jack can do as he's begun. Alright, on to Snakebite. He failed the Pillar Alley, the first obstacle 2 tournaments ago, but so far he has not failed the first obstacle, and he will not. Now time for the Hanging Hooks. He beat this in the last tournament. Jack, I believe he got a top 10 finish in the last tournament as he's going through the Hanging Hooks. Jack, one of the best competitors. Yeah, Jack is Trash got 10th place in the last tournament, so let's see how he can do. Really line up this Hop Rocket, throwing a fishing rod, and he just goes right for it, and Jack is Trash gets through the Hop Rocket if he can get this dismount, which he will. Nice job, Jack. Into the jumping spider. Jack, he beat this back in Tournament 9. He's holding out barriers for some reason. I don't really know why. He's just been holding out a bunch of random objects and pointing to the sky, okay, as he's into the charge reverse, and he makes it. A very interesting run from Jack. However, all this fooling around has caused him to lose time, but he is into the Great Wall, and he's up it in 1. Nice. All right, now the flying chute. He was very nervous about this obstacle. Can Jack stick it? Jack. He jumps into it, and he goes for it. He walks off the chute. Jack is Trash is down on stage 1 for the 3rd tournament in a row and 5th time overall. Jack, let's take a look at that run again. Oh, no. Jack, he did a very odd technique here on the Hop Rocket. He threw a fishing rod in the air and then went straight for it, and he was able to beat it. And then he beat the jumping spider once again, and he just kept fooling around as he just paused right there on that platform. After beating the charge reverse, he would get up the Great Wall in 1, which did save him some time. But then here on the flying chute, he did a little bit of a jump technique, which was a bit interesting, and he just could not get a jump off the chute. But Jack is Trash, one of his best runs in a while. You can just see here, just barely could not get a jump. He was so close, but his best run since Tournament 9. Jack, if he jumped a bit earlier, he would have beaten this obstacle probably. But Jack is out on the first stage once again. Well, next up is another all-star that wants revenge on the first stage. The next competitor to take on the first stage is Circus Stupid. He would be number 30 in Tournament 1 and would clear the first stage, keeping his career streak alive from the original series. He would go on to get 2nd place at that tournament, failing the final jump of the 3rd stage. He would clear stage 1 once again in Tournament 2, being number 29, and would then go on to clear the 2nd stage and would fail the final jump for his 2nd tournament in a row, this time overshooting the final bar. After failing the pinball machine in Tournament 3, Circus would come back and would clear stage 1 once again, and then he would get the fastest time of the 2nd stage, being one of just 3 to clear it. However, on the 3rd stage, just like everyone else that attempted that tournament, he would go down on the ultimate cliffhanger, overshooting that 4th ledge. In Tournament 5, Circus Stupid would get redemption on the ultimate cliffhanger, so he would make it look so much easier than it was in the last tournament. However, he would fail to jump to the 5th set of trapdoors on the triggered trapdoors. In Tournament 6, Circus would have his best tournament yet, as he set a speed record on the first stage, clearance with 28.7 seconds left, beating Paul Roblox YT's record of 28 seconds from Tournament 3. He would clear the second stage once again for his 6th tournament in a row, and this time would get revenge on the trigger shop doors as he would make it through that obstacle. He would then set himself a new personal best when he beat the wall drop, the 6th obstacle of the 3rd stage. However, for his 3rd time, Circus Stupid would fail on the final jump of stage 3, causing tragedy. Circus Stupid's career took a downturn at the start of the regeneration era, as he would be able to clear the 1st stage once again in Tournament 7, but would fail on the 2nd stage for just his 1st time, shocking everybody. However, even more tragedy struck in Tournament 8, where he would fail the 1st stage for the 1st time, timing up on the warped wall. This would cause Circuit to train a lot more for Tournament 9, and when he came back for the Reformation era, he tried not to disappoint, but once again just could not get up the warped wall, timing up on the warped wall for his 2nd tournament in a row. Circuit would be very upset after his fail, and even after training so much for Tournament 10, he would still fail the 1st stage, this time going out on the jumping spider, the 4th obstacle, similar to the spider walk. In the last tournament, Circus Stupid came back as number 40, and although he had potential to clear, he would just go down on the 3rd obstacle, causing his worst performance yet, failing the piano keys. But now Circuit is back here in Tournament 12. Let's see how Circuit can do here on the 1st stage. The Redstone Technician. He changes up his little title every tournament, so who knows, maybe he'll stick with one day. But Circuit has begun. Can he finally clear stage 1 for the 1st time since Tournament 7? He's put in so much practice for this tournament. He really thinks this is the one where he can do it. He says it's probably going to come down to the flying chute, but he also said that about the last tournament and failed the 3rd obstacle. However, the piano keys is not here anymore. It's now the hop rocket, which has also been very difficult this tournament too, as he will make it through the hanging hooks once again like he did in the last tournament, and now it's time for the hop rocket. Lining it up, he goes for it, and he gets a bounce, and Circuit just got to get that dismount, and he will. Now the jumping spider. Failed this the last time he attempted it in Tournament 10. Let's see if he can beat it this time. He gets the mount. Circuit now lining it up. This is the jump he failed, and he gets it. Gets revenge on the jumping spider. Halfway there, into the charge reverse. Circuit lines up, he goes for it. Barely makes that. That was a very close call. Circuit is stupid. Surviving by a hair on this 1st stage as he is into the Great Wall. He lands it in 1. Struggling to hit that button though. Come on, Circuit. Really struggling to hit that button. He needs to hurry. Finally up it. But he only has 30 seconds left. He's going to have to fly. Time for the flying chute. Circuit lines it up. He goes for it. He walks off as well. The 2nd competitor to do that today. No. And the 2nd competitor to do, or the 3rd, no, the 3rd competitor to do that today, and the 2nd in a row is what I meant. Let's take a look at this run again. He made the hanging hooks look so easy. Make it through, and then got revenge on the 3rd obstacle, which this time is the hop rocket instead of the piano keys, and then got revenge on the jumping spider, which he failed in Tournament 10. And after having a very close call on the charge reverse, he would make it up the Great Wall in 1, which is very surprising for Circuit, but then he would struggle a lot on pressing the button. Very unfortunate. That might have caused him to panic here on this next obstacle, the flying chute, as when he went for it, he was punching the air as he was nervous, and he just could not get a jump off the chute. Very similar to Jackish Ash. You can see here, punching while he was running down the chute, and then just did not get a jump. If he did press the jump button a bit earlier, he probably could have made that jump. Yeah, you can see here, barely didn't get a jump as he just landed on the very edge of that chute. A very unfortunate fail. The Circuit is Stupid is out once again on the 1st stage. Well, our next competitor is coming off of a sour run after a very good tournament in Tournament 10. The 43rd competitor to take on the 1st stage of this tournament is the veteran K-Fly. He started his career out in Tournament 3, but would not get his first Stage 1 clear until Tournament 5, where he would be number 1 in the run order and would become the first clear of that tournament. However, he would unfortunately go down on the 2nd stage on the 2nd obstacle, the Salmon Ladder, missing the jump to the 2nd run. In Tournament 6, he would be given number 26, and he would go down on the 2nd obstacle, the Nunchuck Slider. In Tournament 7, K-Fly would come back and would rack up his second first stage clear, doing so, being one of 12 to do so. However, he would unfortunately fail the downhill jump for his second time, this time with it being the first obstacle of Stage 2. After missing out in Tournament 8, he would fail on the rolling log in Tournament 9 as he did not practice at all for that course. But in Tournament 10, he would put in a lot of practice and would get his third Stage 1 clear. However, K-Fly did not stop there, as finally, for his first time, he would clear the second stage, being one of 4 to do so in that tournament and getting the fastest time on Stage 2 as well. On the third stage, K-Fly would become the first competitor to ever beat the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger, doing very odd technique and making it through. However, his run would come to an end on the 7th obstacle, the reverse panel, as he would get second place that tournament. However, in the last tournament, K-Fly came back with hope and dream of making it back to the third stage. But as mentioned earlier, he would have a sour run and would go down on the third obstacle, the piano keys, undershooting the second key. But now, K-Fly is back to SASUKE Craft here at number 43. He is a Java main. It would be really cool to see K-Fly back on the third stage. I think he has the potential to clear, especially based off that Tournament 10 run. That was his first time on Stage 3. And K-Fly has begun looking to get his fourth Stage 1 clear. The last clear we saw was Trevor the Beast 5 at number 37. We've seen 2 flying shoot failures in a row. K-Fly's going to skip that last ledge as he's into the hanging hooks. He beat this in the last tournament as he's making it through. Come on, K-Fly. Alright, the wrap. He's got it. K-Fly onto the hop rocket. He's going to go right for it. K-Fly doesn't get a bounce off the bouncer. K-Fly is out on the first stage once again on the third obstacle. What just happened? K-Fly. He made the hanging hooks look easy, and then here, oh, he jumped too early and you just did not get a bounce off the bouncer. You can see here, K-Fly, he jumped way too early off that platform. Oh, and then that resulted in him not even getting a bounce off the bouncer, and K-Fly, in a shocking turn of events, is out on Stage 1 once again. He doesn't seem too mad about it, though. Well, we have seen 43 runs and 4 clears, meaning we have 7 runs left, and our next competitor wants revenge on this Stage 1, and he wants to make it back to Stage 2. The next competitor up to face the first stage of SASUKE Craft 12 is Trigger, formerly known as Just Trigger. In Tournament 1, Trigger would rack up his first Stage 1 clear, being one of 11 to clear in the first tournament, and then would go on to clear the second stage as well. JT would get third place in Tournament 1, as he would beat the hard transfer of the Cliffhanger, but would unfortunately slip off the third ledge, losing his grip just before the end. In Tournament 2, JT would come back and clear the first stage once again, and he did not stop there. After setting a speed record on Stage 2, he would get revenge on the Cliffhanger and would not slip off the ledge this time. However, his run did not stop, as he would become the first competitor to make it to the final stage in the SASUKE Craft reboot. However, he would come close to achieving Kandensei, but would unfortunately time up on the final rope, getting very close to the top. After failing the final jump of Stage 3 in Tournament 3, he would be given number 29 in Tournament 4, because he was one of 2 finalists competing in that tournament. In Tournament 4, he would put on a dominating run, clearing the first stage with ease, being one of 7 to do so with the second fastest time, clearing with 18 seconds left on the dot. However, his run in Tournament 4 did not stop there, as he would go on to become one of the 3 competitors to beat the second stage. However, his third stage run would go a lot worse than he had planned. JT had hopes of making it to the final stage in the first tournament of the Rising Era, but would unfortunately overshoot the 4th ledge of the Ultimate Cliffhanger, getting second place that tournament. However, in Tournament 5, JT would put on his best performance yet. After being given number 148, he would go on to clear the first stage like 11 others, being one of the 12 to clear Stage 1 in that tournament. He once again would go on to clear the second stage, doing so with utter ease, dominating that course. This time on Stage 3, things went a lot different, as JT would once again get back to the Ultimate Cliffhanger, but this time he was defeated, being one of 5 to defeat it that tournament. This time he would once again get back to the final jump like he did in Tournament 3, but just like Tournament 2, JT was able to clear, becoming the second competitor to make it to the final stage in the Rising Era and being one of 3 overall in that tournament. On the final stage, JT would get his first and so far only first place. After having a great run, one mistake on the final rope would call it a chain reaction of mistakes, causing him to time up just at the top, causing heartbreak. After that would cause JT to retire from SASUKE Craft until the last tournament, where he came back after a very long break, but unfortunately failed stage 1 for his first time, going down on the third obstacle, the piano keys. And now, JT is back here in Tournament 12. A bit of a gamer tag change from Just Trigger to Trigger. Probably still just going to call him JT, though. Let's see how he can do here on the first stage. Can he be the first All-Star to clear since Tournament 10? He has begun. We've seen 3 All-Stars take on this course, and so far, all of them have failed. We have 3 All-Stars left, including JT, as he's into the hanging hooks. Beat this in the last tournament. Can he do it again? Very nice jump there. Gets the jump to the third hook. Now the jump to the fourth. And he gets it with ease. Now this is where K-Fly failed. Can he at least get a jump off the bouncer? He hesitates, but he gets on the bouncer and lands on the pillar. And JT is through into the jumping spider. He has not faced this before. The only obstacle, he's faced the Great Wall and the Flying Chute. Just a very different version of the Flying Chute and a pretty different version of the Great Wall. But now he is halfway through the first stage as he is into the charge reverse. Gets a nice bounce and he turns around very fast. And now he is onto the Great Wall. He faced this in the first 3 tournaments of SASUKE Craft. Did not get here in the last one though, and he's up in 1. But now into the Flying Chute. He was nervous about this. Can JT get it? He goes right for it. He gets a jump and he lands on the rope. JT, can he get the dismount? He can. JT is now 1 obstacle away from making it back to the second stage for the first time since Tournament 5. A little under 30 seconds to go, he begins the beanstalk climb. He's going at a very quick pace. Come on, JT, make it back to stage 2. JT, he's never failed stage 2, and it looks like he's going to get another chance to keep that record alive, as JT is going to stage 2, the first All-Star to clear since Tournament 10. He's done it. JT, in a dominating fashion, has cleared stage 1 for his 6th time. Let's take a look at that run again. He has a bit of hesitation on the hop rocket, but nonetheless, he was able to make it through. And on the charge reverse, he did a very odd technique as he just turned around immediately after he threw the wind charge. Got the Great Wall in 1, made it look so easy. He then went on to make the Flying Chute look super easy as he became the first All-Star to ever clear this version of the Flying Chute. And then he rocketed up the beanstalk climb, and JT has become the 5th competitor moving on to stage 2. He's done it. We will be seeing the All-Star on the second stage. JT is so happy. For the first time since Tournament 5, we're having a stage 2 with Trigger on it. Congratulations, JT. You've done it. Well, our next competitor is back looking for redemption on the first stage after a very shocking failure on it in the last tournament. The 45th competitor to take on the first stage here in Tournament 12 is GamerTim3YT, the All-Star. GamerTim3YT would be the 2nd ever Stage 1 clear in the reboot and the 1st ever Stage 2 clear in the reboot, getting the fastest time on Stage 2 in Tournament 1. However, his run would come to an end on the pole grasper as he would forget to sprint and get caught up on the second pole of the pole grasper on Stage 3. In Tournament 2, Tim would clear once again. Not as dominant as his Tournament 1 performance, but nonetheless, he would still make it past Stage 1, but would unfortunately go down on the hammer dodge, the 5th obstacle of Stage 2. After timing up on the wall lifting in Tournament 3, Tim would miss out on Tournament 4 due to a medical emergency and would come back in Tournament 5 and fail Stage 1 for his first time, this time on the crooked wall. In Tournament 6, Tim wanted redemption, and after training very hard for that tournament, redemption is exactly what he would get, as he would get revenge on the crooked wall when he failed in the previous tournament and would go on to clear Stage 1 once again. However, on Stage 2, Tim would have a very sad failure, as he was hoping to get back to the 3rd stage for the first time since Tournament 1, but would go down on the salmon ladder, missing the jump to the 3rd rung. In Tournament 7, tragedy struck once again, as Tim would fail on the 4th obstacle of Stage 1, the Twin Triangle, shocking everybody. This would cause Tim to train very hard for Tournament 8 like he did in Tournament 6, and it would pay off a lot, as he would clear Stage 1 once again. But not only that, Tim would come back here on stage 2, and he would dominate the second stage, getting his second ever stage 2 clear, and finally getting back to the third stage for the first time since Tournament 1. On the third stage, Tim did not disappoint anyone, as he would do very well, as he would full send the drum hopper, a very risky maneuver, and would have a very odd technique on the vertical limit of going into crawling animation. All of this would result into so far his best run, as he would get 5th place going down on the jump to the 3rd ladder on the cheese grater. In Tournament 9, Tim would become the next All-Star, and he did not disappoint in his first ever run as an All-Star, as although he would have a few close calls on the first stage, he would once again clear. Then he would become one of 3 to clear the second stage, surprising everybody after not making it back to stage 3 for the first time since Tournament 1 and the last tournament to going 2 tournaments in a row on the third stage. However, on the third stage, Tim would get 3rd place, doing the worst out of anyone who got there in that tournament, as he would fail to jump to the 7th globe on the globe grass. When Tournament 10 rolled around, Tim would be given number 285, and he would once again clear the first stage, having more slip-ups on the mountain climb, the last obstacle. However, this time, Tim would sadly fail the second stage once again, going down on the jump to the second set of stairs on the escalade. Although Tim trained hard for Tournament 11, Tim would unfortunately not get back to the second stage, as he would be one of 48 victims on the first stage, as he would miss the mountain to the second obstacle, the hanging hooks. And now here comes Tim, back here on the first stage, the Hive YouTuber. Can this All-Star clear just like JT did? It'd be cool to see 2 All-Stars on the second stage after having none in the last tournament. And now Tim has begun. He is off. Tim, he's only missed Tournament 4, so this is his 11th appearance. And Tim, now time for some redemption as he gets through the snake bite. He failed the mount, going for the other side than what he went in the last tournament. He's done better than he did in the last tournament, but you know he's just focused on getting past one obstacle at a time. That is always his approach. A beautiful wrap around the hanging hooks, and now he is into the hop rocket. Barely gets that bouncer, but nonetheless is able to grab onto the pillar. Now time for the jumping spider. Tim goes for the mount, and he sticks it. Tim now looks like he's going to go for the skip, and he is. Gamer Tim 3 YT. Now time for the charge reverse. Tim gets through it. Nice work. Tim now on to the Great Wall. Can he get it in 1? Tim can. Nice job, Tim. He is up the Great Wall in 1. Tim now 2 obstacles away, starting with a flying chute. He was nervous about it. Tim, he goes for it, gets a jump, and he lands on the rope. That was a perfect attempt at an obstacle, and he makes it through. Tim, 1 obstacle to go with 30 seconds left. The beanstalk climb. Goes for the mount, lands it. Just has to climb up this beanstalk. Come on, Tim, you can do it. 1 simple climb, and he is making it look easy. Gamer Tim 3YT. He slips. Oh no! Tim, the final cycle. That slip might have made him a bit nervous, but nonetheless, Tim is going back to stage 2 for the first time since Tournament 10. 7.1 seconds left on the clock. Tim is back. He's done it. Tim sits on top of the buzzer. He is very happy. It may not seem like it, but he is very happy to be going back to stage 2. Let's take a look at that run again. Tim, he got some revenge on the hanging hooks, getting that mount and making it through the obstacle, although he failed it in the last tournament. Then he would make it through the jumping spider, making it look so easy. One of the smoothest attempts at it today. Tim had a smooth run all up until the last obstacle, getting the Great Wall in 1, which is something Tim usually doesn't do that often. And then he got the flying chute. That was the best attempt at the flying chute, at least this version that we've ever seen. And then although he had a bit of a mistake here on the beanstalk climb, he did not let it scare him, as he would get back to that same point and get it on a second go at it and would make it up. He missed the buzzer a few times, or 1 time, but would press it on a second attempt at it. And Tim is going to stage 2 for his, I don't even know how many times. That's how good of a competitor Tim is, as he comes on over and heads down the fireman pole. Congratulations, Tim. You're going to stage 2 once again. Well, we are now down to just 5 runners left on the first stage, and our next competitor got 3rd place in the last tournament. The next competitor up on the first stage is the new star, Jackus Boom. He started his career out in Tournament 6 where he would fail on the flying shoe, but in SASUKE Craft Clash Edition 1, he would get to the final stage where he would unfortunately time up on the only obstacle there, the triple plank. However, him getting first place would result in him getting number 26 in Tournament 7 where he would fail on the second obstacle, the silk slider. In Tournament 8, Jackus Boom would get his first stage 1 clear in the main franchise, clearing the first stage pretty easily, along with the second stage as well, becoming the second competitor to do so in that tournament. On the third stage, he would fail on the swing edge, walking off the second shelf. After missing out on Tournament 9, Jackus Boom came back for Tournament 10 and would clear Stage 1 once again, technically for his second time in a row. He'd fail on the jump to the scaffolding on Escalate, though having a shocking failure. In the last tournament, Jackus Boom would be given number 45 for his good result and be named the new star, but would fail on the flying chute, the second to last obstacle. Jackus Boom is now back here at number 46, the Star Challenge legend. Jackus Boom got third place in the last tournament, was one of only 3 competitors to make it past the jumping spider and went down on the flying chute, but he has begun the first stage. He's only cleared the first stage twice. Looking to make it 3 times here. As Jackus Boom now going through. Alright, lines it up and gets it. This is his 6th appearance. And Jackus Boom looking to make it 50% here on the first stage of clears and fails. As Jackus Boom is through the hop rocket into the jumping spider. Jackus Boom goes for the mount and sticks it. He beat this in the last tournament and Tournament 10. He should be able to do it again. As Jackus Boom making it look easy, does not go for the skip, but nonetheless, he makes it through, really lining up that dismount. He's got it. Alright, Jackus Boom into the charge reverse. Lines up, he goes for it. Nice bounce, a bit of lag. As now he is 3 obstacles away. The Great Wall, can he get it in 1? Yes, he can. Jackus Boom, time for some redemption. Can he stick the flying chute? He has never beaten a flying chute in SASUKE Craft. Can this be the first? He gets a jump and lands on it. He has gotten revenge from the last tournament. Jackus Boom, 1 obstacle away. Jackus Boom, only 20 seconds left as he's into the beanstalk climb. Come on, Jackus Boom. Time is running low, though. He needs to hurry. He is not going fast enough. Can he get it? 10 seconds left. The final cycle. Jackus Boom, can he do it? It's going to be close, but he is going to make it with 2.4 seconds left. Congratulations, Jackus Boom. You are going back to Stage 2. Revenge is sweet. Let's take a look at that run again. Jackus Boom made it through the snake bite with ease. Oh, he took a little bit more time than you want to, but nonetheless, he was still able to make it through. And then here, he got this he got through the charge reverse pretty easily, and then got through the Great Wall in 1 attempt. He made this whole entire first stage look smooth, and this was the biggest point of his run, getting revenge on the flying shoe. He made it look simple. And then here, on the beanstalk climb, he took it slow and steady, but in the end, he still had enough time to clear the first stage, becoming the 7th competitor to do so, and the 3rd in a row. Congratulations, Jackus Boom. You'll be on to the 2nd stage for your 3rd time. We have now seen 46 runs and 7 clears on the first stage. Well, our next competitor is coming off of a first place finish in the last tournament. The next competitor up to challenge the first stage here in SASUKE Craft Tournament 12 is the new star, Corey Sneeko. He started his career in Tournament 4. He would fail the half-pipe attack, but would bounce back in the following tournament and would clear the first stage. However, he would unfortunately go on the first obstacle of Stage 2, the stop and go. In Tournament 6, he would fail on the jump hang kai, and then would miss out on Tournament 7, but would come back in Tournament 8. He would clear the first stage in Tournament 8 for a second time, and would get to Stage 3 for his first and so far only time. He would fail on the jump to the second ledge of the crazy cliffhanger, having an unfortunate failure. In Tournament 9, Corey would be given number 21 and would be the last day run, and would fail on the crooked cannonball. In Tournament 10, he would fail on the jumping spider, but in the last tournament, Corey would get revenge on the first stage, as he not only would he get redemption on the jumping spider, he would get redemption on the crooked cannonball as well, giving himself a new personal best for the reformation era. He'd be the first to clear in that tournament and be one of two, getting the fastest time on stage 1. In stage 2, he would unfortunately undershoot the last bar of the crank dive and then undershoot the second bar on his second try at it. However, that was enough to get him first place. He's the host of Star Challenge. Let's see how Corey can do here on the first stage. Corey. It was very interesting to see him clear in the last tournament. I was not really expecting it. And then he got first place on stage 2. So hopefully he can get back there and get some revenge on the crank dive. As he's going through, he's holding a lead in his hand. He does that sometimes. As he's going through, Corey going right for that third hook, and he gets the jump. Alright, now time for the hop rocket. Corey Sneeko goes for it, and he gets it. Nice. Corey now into the jumping spider. Failed this in Tournament 10, but he's beaten it the other 2 times in the reformation era. Corey really lining up that mount, but he gets it. And he goes for the skip. Nice work, Corey. Alright, Corey Sneeko now. The charge reverse. Can he get it? Lines up, he goes for it. And gets a, oh my gosh, that was a very close call. He got so much height and barely no distance. He barely landed on that platform, and he gets the Great Wall in 1 with 50 seconds to go. Corey's just a naturally fast competitor. He's struggling, though, to get up. Corey wasting a lot of time here. Finally up the Great Wall. All right, Corey Sneeko now into the flying chute. Goes for it. Corey misses on the flying chute. He is down. No. Corey Sneeko has failed the flying chute for his first time in his SASUKE Craft career. It's over just like that. Corey. He was able to get some revenge on the jumping spider once again. What he failed in Tournament 10. And got so much height. Barely landed on the dismount there of the charge reverse. And then went on to get the Great Wall on his first attempt at it. But then here, the flying chute after struggling to get up on the Great Wall. That might have wasted some energy for Corey, but after he finally made it up the flying chute, he jumped too early and undershot that rope. You can see here, he jumped like a block too early and just could not land on the rope. Corey Sneeko, such an unfortunate failure. A little later, and he probably would have been able to clear the first stage again. But Corey Sneeko, in a very shocking turn of events, has been eliminated on the first stage. Staring up at the obstacle that just eliminated him, Corey Sneeko is out on the first stage. Well, we are now down to just 3 competitors left on the first stage, and our next competitor is back for blood on this first stage. The 48th competitor to take on the first stage this tournament will be your favorite hen, the new star. Your favorite hen started his career out in Tournament 6, where he would not only clear the first stage, but would go on to become one of 2 newcomers to make it to the third stage. In that tournament, Hen would display a dominant third stage run, as he would do an odd technique on the ultimate cliffhanger of pausing on the 5th ledge, but nonetheless would still beat it, signifying himself getting the best newcomer performance of that tournament, where he would go down on the jump to the climbing wall on the wall drop, the 6th obstacle of that stage. In Tournament 7, your favorite hen came back, and he'd be one of 12 to clear the first stage in that tournament. However, unlike Tournament 6, he could not clear the second stage, as he'd go down on the double compressor. However, in Tournament 8, he would clear the first stage once again for his 3rd time in a row, and this tournament would not only defeat the double compressor, unlike the previous tournament, he would go on to clear the second stage as well for a 2nd time. In that tournament, Hen did not disappoint on the 3rd stage, as he would put on a beautiful run, getting to the final jump of the 3rd stage, where he would unfortunately fail on the pipe slider, but would get 3rd place that tournament. In Tournament 9, Hen would be given number 28 for his run in Tournament 8, and he would get his 4th Stage 1 clear in a row and overall. He would become one of 3 to clear the 2nd stage in Tournament 9, and Hen would secure his first and so far only 1st place, as he would miss the jump to the 3rd ledge on the ultra crazy cliffhanger. Hen came back for Tournament 10 and would clear once again, getting his 5th clear, still not failing the 1st stage at this point. Then Hen would have a very sloppy second stage run on the tackle machine, an obstacle that he effortlessly did in the previous tournament, but would barely clear, becoming one of 4 to do so in that tournament. However, Hen would fail 1 jump earlier on the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger tournament. In the last tournament, Hen would be given number 50, but would have a shocking fail as he walked off the back of the 3rd hook, accidentally uncrouching. But now, your favorite Hen is back to the SASUKE Craft course, and he wants revenge. The first place of SASUKE Craft 9, Hen, a fun fact, he's the only competitor to make it to the 3rd stage multiple times in the Reformation era so far. Looking to keep, or not even keep it alive, you can't really break that streak, just looking to get back there for his 3rd time in the Reformation era, as he is going through the snake bite. Hen is through, now time for some revenge. Your favorite Hen, he's lined it up, he goes for it, lands it. Alright, he do not walk off this time, he has not, and your favorite Hen is through the hanging hook. He has achieved revenge on that obstacle. Now he is into the jumping spider, going very fast, and a little bit caught up on that little stairway there as he gets the mount and going through. Your favorite Hen lines up the dismount. He's got it at a very quick pace. Hen is in to the charge reverse. He goes for it. A nice bounce. That was a really good attempt. Hen looking to become our 8th clear here on the 1st stage. Can he get the Great Wall in 1? No, he can't. Hen, can he get it in 2? Yes, he can. Your favorite Hen. Time for the flying shoot. He beat this back in tournament 6, but it was a lot easier then. Hen lines it up. He goes for it, gets a jump, and he lands it. Your favorite Hen is through the flying shoot. Now all he has left to do is the beanstalk climb. Alright, Hen gets the mount. Come on, your favorite Hen, you've got it. Your favorite Hen climbing up as fast as he can. Not really, actually, he's kind of going a bit slow, but it doesn't matter. With 1 cycle left, Hen putting on a dominating display. Your favorite Hen is going back to stage 2 for his 6th time. He's achieved revenge on the 1st stage, and he runs off to the 2nd stage where he will get to attempt. Let's take a look at this run again. He got revenge on the hanging hooks. That was his main goal for the 1st stage this tournament. And then he had a really smooth attempt on the jumping spider, made it look super easy. It was very methodical but speedy. He did not get the Great Wall in 1, but he was able to get it in 2. Clearly, it did not phase him, as on the very next obstacle, he made it look easy. He went on the side, but nonetheless still made it. And then on the beanstalk climb, although he went a little slow, he still climbed as fast as he could with that strategy at least, and became our 8th competitor to move on. Congratulations, Hen, you've done it. And with that, we have 8 clears out of 48 runs. Well, we are now 2 competitors away from finishing off this 1st stage, and our next competitor is coming back after a great run. The 49th and penultimate runner of the 1st stage in SASUKE Craft is Norwegian. He started his career with 2 first obstacle fails, but in tournament he got to 1 obstacle farther, found the silk slider. However, Nor would really step it up in tournament 9, where he'd be given number 10 and miss the mount into the final obstacle, the mountain climb. However, Nor would step it up once again in tournament 10, as he would get his 1st stage 1 clear and become the 1st stage 1 clear in that tournament. However, on stage 2, Nor would unfortunately fail 2 obstacles before the end, overshooting the 3rd candle on the candle cling. In the last tournament, Nor was given number 43 and would be just one of 2 clears on the 1st stage. This would cause Norwegian to be the last man standing of the last tournament, but unfortunately he would fail on the crank dive, the 2nd obstacle, stage 2. And now Norwegian is back, the Roblox competitor, number 49. It's crazy that Nor went from jumping off the starting platform in tournament 6 to being the last man standing of tournament 11. It's crazy. Nor's had an insane progression from just the reformation era. It's been really good for him. If he got that mount into the mountain climb in tournament 9, Nor would probably be the only competitor to clear in every tournament of the reformation era, but nonetheless, he makes a mistake on the hanging hooks, and now he goes for it again. Gets really far right up against there, had to back up as Nor is into the hop rocket. Nor, he currently has the longest active clear streak of SASUKE Craft, of only 2 in a row, but because only 2 competitors cleared in the last tournament, Nor does have that record, and now looking to keep it going here as he's halfway through the 1st stage. But yeah, Nor, it's just crazy to think about how much he has improved since the beginning of this show. Anyways, Nor is now on to the Great Wall. And Nor's going to get up in one. Pretty low on time, though. Nor might want to pick up the pace. Oh, Nor's into the flying shoot. Beat this last time. He goes for it, and he will get it again. Norwegian, he probably wants to pick it up. Nor, he's going for a skip. This is risky. Nor gets it. Nice job. That does save a few seconds as he is straight in the beanstalk climb. He is going to have to fly. He was very nervous about this obstacle. He's not very good at it, he said. The final cycle, he has enough time. Norwegian is going back to stage 2 for the third tournament in a row. 4.4 seconds left on the clock. He has done it. Nor. Let's take a look at that again. Norwegian. He missed the hang hooks on his first try, and then here, he just like got flung, barely landed on it, pushed up against the, thought there had to back up a bit. And then he beat the charge reverse, made it look easy. And then on the Great Wall, got up in one, so that was a very good attempt at that obstacle from Nor. On the flying shoe, he became the first competitor to beat this version of it multiple times. And then he went for a very odd skip here. This could have ended his run, but he barely got it. And then Nor, with the time ticking, he had to fly up the beanstalk climb, and that is exactly what he did. And Nor has become the 9th competitor, moving on to the second stage of this tournament. Congratulations, Nor. We'll be seeing him on the second stage. Nor, very proud of himself, very excited. And as you can see there, 49 runs, 9 clears with only 1 run left. We'll be seeing Norwegian on stage 2. Congratulations, Nor, once again. Well, we are now down to just 1 runner left on the first stage, and he's coming off of his worst run ever, and he wants redemption. The Mr. 50 of this tournament is Blushy Baby Kai, the All-Star. Blushy Baby Kai cleared the first stage in Tournament 1, which would become a common theme for the rest of the franchise. However, on Stage 2 of Tournament 1, he would have a very unfortunate failure, failing a speed spiral, the second obstacle of Stage 2. He would clear the first stage once again in Tournament 2, but this time would clear on the second stage. However, his run would come to an end on the pole graspers. He would fail to jump to the second pole. After getting to the final stage in Tournament 3, he would be given number 30 for being one of 2 finalists competing in Tournament 4. He would get his 4th straight Stage 1 clear and would clear Stage 2, being one of 3 to do so in that tournament. Tournament 4 would be the tournament where Blushy Baby Kai got his first and so far only first place, as he would fail the ultimate cliffhanger walking off the 5th ledge. In Tournament 5, he would clear once again on the first stage, but for the first time since Tournament 1, Blushy Baby Kai would fail on the second stage, failing on the jump to the second rung on the salmon ladder. In Tournament 6, Blushy Baby Kai would clear again, and this time would get revenge on the second stage, as he would be one of 7 to clear the second stage this tournament. When the third stage rolled around, Kai did not disappoint, as he would get revenge on the ultimate cliffhanger, the obstacle that eliminated him in Tournament 4, but unfortunately go down 1 obstacle later, missing the jump to the 5th and final set of trapdoors on the trigger trapdoors, the 5th obstacle. In Tournament 7, Blushy Baby Kai would clear once again on the first stage, making it 7 in a row. Then he'd be one of 4 to clear on the second stage, and he was looking to make it to the final stage this tournament once again. However, the third stage had other plans, as after beating the trigger trapdoors, the obstacle that he failed in Tournament 6, Blushy Baby Kai would unfortunately fail the flip of the crazy cliffhanger, getting 3rd place that tournament. Kai's best tournament would come in Tournament 8, where he would be given number 29 and would clear the first stage, being one of 10 to do so. Then he would be one of 9 to clear the second stage, getting to the third stage once again. Whereas this time, Blushy Baby Kai did beat the crazy cliffhanger, getting the flip and making it all the way to the final obstacle of Stage 3. And this time, just like Tournament 3, he would make it to the final stage, being the first finalist in the regeneration era. Blush Baby Kai trained very hard for the final stage, but unfortunately just could not achieve Kansen as he would time up on the last obstacle, the final rope, doing better than he did in the final stage in Tournament 3. In Tournament 9, he would clear once again and will make it back to the third stage, being one of 3 to do so and getting the closest ever finish in SASUKE Craft history. However, on the third stage, Blush Baby Kai would get second place, going down on the ultra crazy cliffhanger, very similar to his Tournament 7 fail. In Tournament 10, Blush Baby Kai would be given number 299. He would clear the first stage, becoming the first competitor to clear stage 1, not only 10 times, but 10 times in a row, but would shockingly go down on the second stage on the Candle Cling. In the last tournament, due to his shocking stage 2 fail, he would not be given number 50, but would be given number 49, but would unfortunately fail stage 1 for his first ever time, walking off of the third ledge on the jumping spider while trying to do the skip. But now, Kai is back. Kai, he's been given number 50 due to his amazing performances before the last tournament. 10 clears in a row and overall is no easy feat, and Blushy Baby Kai has made it look effortless every time. Now, Blushy Baby Kai, the only competitor in the double digits for stage 1 clears, is looking to make it 11 here on the Tournament 12, stage 1, as he is going through. Now to the hanging hook. He had a very close call here in the last tournament. He clipped through the glass on the 4th hook, this jump right here. And he's going to make it a lot smoother than he did in the last tournament. Alright, and on the hop rocket, nicely gets it. Kai is into the jumping spider. Blushy Baby Kai goes for the mount. Time for some redemption. This is the jump he failed. He walked off this ledge, and Blushy Baby Kai has gotten redemption on the jumping spider. Blushy Baby Kai is now 4 obstacles away from getting back to stage 2. He beats the charge reverse. Blushy Baby Kai into the Great Wall. Kai faces in Tournament 10 and in Tournaments 1 through 3. Not up in 1, but will get up it in 2. Nice job, Kai. Alright. Time for the flying shoe. He was nervous about it. Blushy Baby Kai. He goes for it. He gets a jump and he sticks the rope. Nice job, Kai. Just gotta get the dismount and he will. Blushy Baby Kai 1 obstacle away from making it back to stage 2. The beanstalk climb. However, he was very nervous for this obstacle as well. But Blushy Baby Kai is climbing up. He has the time. Come on, Kai. He's gonna take it slow now. The final cycle. Come on, Kai. 1 more jump to go. Blushy Baby Kai is back. 5.4 seconds left on the clock. Blushy Baby Kai, number 50, will be the first ever number 50 to make it to stage 2, and he drives off in a magenta car. I'm not gonna question it. Blushy Baby Kai made the hop rocket look effortless, made it look so easy. Then here, got redemption on the jumping spider, made the mount look easy, and this jump where he failed in the last one, made it look so much smoother than he did in the last one where obviously he failed. Then he got the Great Wall in 2, and clicked the button pretty fast, which is something Kai doesn't do normally, especially in practice. But then here on the flying chute, he was very nervous about it, but he made it look so easy. And he became the 10th competitor to beat this obstacle, this tournament. And then he had the time for the beanstalk climb, so decided to take it slow at the end. And Blushy Baby Kai has become the 10th competitor to move on the most amount of stage 1 clears in the Reformation era so far. And now, Blushy Baby Kai, he can finally say that he has gotten redemption on the first stage. 50 runs and 10 clears. Well, it is time for the ninja killer of the first stage. The honor of this tournament goes to the very first obstacle, the snake bite, with 10 failures. Although the hanging hooks also had 10 failures, I decided to give it to this obstacle for being a new challenge. It eliminated very experienced and inexperienced competitors, but for these 10 competitors, they'll have to come back next tournament. Better luck next time, competitors. We hope to see you in the future, and hopefully you can make it past the first obstacle. And with that, the first stage is over. 10 competitors were able to clear the first stage, the most of any Reformation era tournament. These 10 are Wipeout Boy 10, Mr. Zlamos, Maddie, Trevor the Beast 5, JT, Tim, Jack is Boom, Your Favorite Hen, Norwegian, and Blushy Baby Kai. These 10 competitors are going to have to give it their all on the second stage that went undefeated in the last tournament. Can any of them make it to the third stage? Well, we are about to find out. It is time for the second challenge of Tournament 12 of SASUKE Craft. Good luck, competitors. The second stage is a trust-filled gauntlet consisting of 6 obstacles. It remains the exact same as the last tournament with one modification. It begins with the super jump and then goes into the undefeated crank dive. 5 bars in a semicircle, and then they must go to 6 bars that will drop. After that, it's the reformation era staple of the second stage, the throwback and the triple compressor, that both went unattempted in the last tournament. After that, it's the only modification to an obstacle, the candle cling. The beginning remains the same, however, this time, the ring has been lowered by 1 block, making it much easier. As always, the tackle will round off the second stage, and competitors will have 65 seconds to make it to the third stage. Let's see how our competitors can do. And kicking them off will be a competitor we have not seen on this stage since Tournament 5. It is the new star, Wipeout Boy 10. The Wipeout fanboy, as I just mentioned, has not been here since Tournament 10, or Tournament 5, I mean, not Tournament 10. He didn't compete in Tournament 10, but Wipeout Boy 10 has begun throwing a fishing rod into the air, alright, as he beats the super jump. Now time for the undefeated crank dive. Wipeout Boy 10. The last time he was on the stage, he defeated it. Can he do it again? This is the farthest anyone has made it. Can he survive the drop? He can. Gets a dismount. Nice. Wipeout Boy 10 is the first competitor to ever defeat the crank dive. The throwback is not reset, and he throws wind charges to reset them. And now he's through the throwback. Alright, one more move. And gotta get the dismount. Nice. Now the triple compressor. He beat the double compressor back in Tournament 5. Can he beat the modified version? It seems as he can, as he gets the dismount. Wipeout Boy 10 is moving through this stage, and he is into the candle cling. Unattempted in the last tournament. Wipeout Boy 10 gets the dismount. He is 1 obstacle away. He's going to go 2 for 2 on the stage as long as he doesn't make a costly mistake. Wipeout Boy 10 shoving the box down the track. And Wipeout Boy 10 is moving on to stage 3. The first competitor to take on stage 2 of this tournament is the first competitor to clear it. For the first time since Tournament 5, we will be seeing Wipeout Boy 10 on the third stage. Let's take a look at this run again. He beat the crank dive. He made it look so much easier than it was in the last tournament. Surviving the drop and getting that dismount. Though throwback was not reset, and he threw some wind charges to reset them, which is fine. And then here, he was able to beat the tackle. Not the fastest attempt we've ever seen on it, but nonetheless, still speedy enough to clear. And Wipeout Boy 10 will be moving on to stage 3. What a comeback tournament, and he still has 2 more stages to go. Congratulations, Wipeout Boy 10. Well, next up is a competitor making their first appearance on the second stage. It is the first half of the Silver Seals. This is Mr. Llamas, the host of Llamas Minecraft Ninja Warrior. The only regular remaining in the competition. Let's see how he can do on his first attempt at the second stage. And Llama has begun. The super jump. Gets a jump, and he will make it. Barely landed on that. A lot worse of an attempt than Wipeout Boy 10. But nonetheless, he is through. Into the crank dive. You just saw Wipeout Boy 10 beat this. Can he as well? Taking his time. Goes straight for it. And survives the drop. And goes straight for the dismount. Mr. Llamas, another competitor through the crank dive. Now time for the throwback. And he gets the first move. And Llama the jump. He hits his head on the support. No, Llama is down. On the second stage, a simple error ends his run. Let's take a look at this again. He went a lot slower than Wipeout Boy 10 did on this crank dive, but nonetheless, he was able to beat it. And then here, he made the first transfer, but he pulled a jacket trash from Tournament 9. He jumped too early and hit his head. You do not have a lot of room to jump off of that rod, and Llama is out. Well, next up is the other half of the Silver Seals. This is Maddie the Div, the host of Bedrock SASUKE, making his second appearance on the second stage. The last time we saw him here was in Tournament 9, where he failed to jump to the third compressor on the triple compressor. The triple compressor is still here, so hopefully he can get some redemption. 65 seconds on the clock. Maddie the Div has begun on a super jump. He did not get the faces back in Renai. It was a chain reaction back then. And he is through. Now another obstacle he hasn't faced as the crank dive was introduced in the last tournament. And he is going through. Maddie the Div. Can he be the third in a row to beat this? Yes, he can. If he can get to dismount, which he can. Nice job, Maddie, as he is now into the throwback. Just saw Mr. Llama's fail here. Maddie, this is the jump Mr. Llama fails, but he gets it. Maddie the Div has avenged Mr. Llama's. And now time for the obstacle that he failed back in Tournament 9. Can he avenge himself? Maddie hits his head on the first compressor. Maddie the Div is down on the triple compressor on stage 2 once again. Maddie, oh no. That's so unfortunate. He was able to get past the throwback, avenging Mr. Llama's, but here, he was going around. He had a nice strategy, but he just jumped a bit too early. And Maddie is out. That is so unfortunate. He is 0 for 2 on this obstacle. Well, next up is the only newcomer left in the competition. This is Trevor the Beast 5, the Mario Kart player. My IRL friend. I am very surprised he made it here, and I think he is too. But Trevor lines up at the starting line for the 65-second attack. And Trevor has begun the super jump. Goes for it and lands it very smooth. As now it is time for the crank dive. Trevor, alright, gotta climb up here. And a little bit of slow technique, and he's gonna pause on that 5th bar, but nonetheless he makes it. That is now going to be 4 competitors in a row through that obstacle after neither of our 2 competitors could beat it in the last tournament. Now time for the throwback. Trevor the Beast. No! He falls off the first throwback. Trevor, oh no, what happened there? Trevor the Beast 5. Let's take a look at this run again. He made the super jump look really easy. Oh, Trevor here on the throwback. Yeah, he just didn't get a jump. Trevor, that is so unfortunate. I think he could have cleared this stage as well. He did pretty well in practice. But Trevor, one simple error ends his newcomer appearance. But he is the best newcomer of the tournament. Very unfortunate way to go out, but still an amazing run for his debut performance. Oh, Trevor, that is so unfortunate. The throwback has now taken out 2 competitors. Oh, 4 runs, only 1 clear. Well, our next competitor is the first of 3 All-Stars taking on this stage, this tournament. It's the SASUKE Craft 2 and SASUKE Craft 5 finalist, Trigger. JT, first time on this stage in Tournament 5, similar to Way Up with 10. Only difference is that JT didn't compete until the last tournament. Missed out from Tournament 6 all the way to 10. But now, JT has begun his 6th attempt at this stage. He's never failed stage 2, fun fact. So let's see if he can keep that streak alive. I definitely think he can. And it looks like he's going to be the 5th straight competitor through the crank dive. Time for the throwback. 2 competitors have already failed here this tournament. Trigger looking not to join them. Gets the first transition. Will really line this jump up. Alright. Now gets a second movement. Gotta get the dismount. Really line this dismount up. Come on, JT. You gotta hurry. Time for the triple compressor. JT spending even more time. Come on, JT. You have to hurry. As he is now into the triple compressor. The second jump. Oh, no! Misses the jump to the 3rd compressor. He hits his head on the 2nd compressor. JT is down on stage 2 for the first time. Oh, JT has now failed all stages of SASUKE Craft. One of very few competitors to do that. Oh, JT. He spent so much time on this throwback and then spent so much time lining up the jumps on the triple compressor. And it was not worth it in the end as he would hit his head on the jump to the 3rd one. Oh, that's so sad. Well, there are now just 5 competitors left on the second stage, and kicking them off is the Hive YouTuber GamerTim3YT. Let's see how Tim can do here on the second stage. The last time he was here was in Tournament 10, where he failed on the Escalate, the second obstacle. He's begun, he beat this in Tournament 10, and he will beat it again. Nice job from Tim. Now the Crank Dive. No one's failed here yet so far. As Tim goes for it, he undershoots the second bar. Tim is out on the Crank Dive. Just like that. He is down on the second obstacle, stage 2 again. Tim, he beat the super jump once again, but then here on the Crank Dive, he just didn't sprint at all. You have to probably at least sprint, and if you don't, you have to get a very late jump. And Tim just did not do that, as Tim falls on the jump to the second bar of the Crank Dive. Tim is eliminated on stage 2. Just 4 competitors left to go on the second stage. Wipeout Boy 10 still the only competitor cleared so far, but next up is Jackus Boom. Just like Tim, he failed the Escalate the last time we saw him on this stage. But Jackus Boom has begun. 3rd place in the last tournament, the only competitor to make it past the Jumping Spider that did not clear the first stage. In Tournament 8, the first time we saw him on the stage, he cleared. So he's hoping to have a positive record on stage 2 rather than a negative record, as he's really lining up the Crank Dive dismount, and he gets it. Now time for the throwback. Jackus Boom. The first move, he didn't get the faces, a weird technique. But yeah, he did not get the faces back in Tournament 10. But nonetheless, he's going to make it through. And now the triple compressor. He faced a double compressor in Tournament 8, but he has not faced this version. It's already taken out 2 people, but Jackus Boom making it look easy. Now the second competitor onto the Candle Cling. Today, lines it up, he gets it. Jackus Boom traversing through. Alright, the jump to the ring. He's got it. Jackus Boom is now on to the tackle, pushing it down the track. Jackus Boom is going back to stage 3 for his second time. The new star has done it once again. Revenge is sweet here on the second stage. The second competitor to do so tonight. Jackus Boom, he was a bit laggy on this Crank Dive, and he took a very long time lining up the dismount, but nonetheless, he did make it. And then he beat the triple compressor, which has already taken out 2 competitors this tournament. But nonetheless, he made it through. And then got past the Candle Cling, which he was a bit nervous for. And then here on the tackle, he was able to shove the box down the track. And Jackus Boom is moving on to stage 3. Congratulations, Jackus Boom, you've done it. That's 7 runs now and 2 clears here on the second stage. 3 competitors left to go here on the second stage, and with Jackus Boom's clear, hopefully that can start some success here on the second stage, a success streak that is. And if anyone can do it, we know it's your favorite hen, as he's the only competitor to make it to stage 3 multiple times in the Reformation era so far, and he's begun. Your favorite hen made it there in Tournament 9 and 10, looking to make it here in Tournament 12 now. Hen, he thinks he could have cleared the second stage if he beat stage 1 in the last tournament, and this is actually an easier version of the second stage, almost the exact same except for the Candle Cling, which is easier. Anyways, your favorite hen making quick work of the second stage as he's halfway through into the triple compressor. Going around, gets the jump to the second compressor and the third compressor. Now the dismount, hen's got it into the Candle Cling. Beat this in Tournament 10. Hen traversing through. Alright, the jump to the ring. Your favorite hen fix it, and your favorite hen onto the tackle. He did not have a good run at this the last time that we saw him attempt it in Tournament 10, and he's not having the strongest run. He had so much time left going through this. What is he doing? Hen, what is he doing? Your favorite hen, not again. Nonetheless, he will still clear, but another very unfortunate run on the tackle. But nonetheless, it's faster than it was in Tournament 10. Your favorite hen just sitting at the finish line of stage 2. Let's take a look at this run again. He was flying through these first 5 obstacles. He had so much time left, making them all look super easy. Especially this triple compressor, and especially the candle cling as well. He didn't even feel like he needed the momentum. He knew he made that jump, so he just stuck it. But then here on the tackle, just like Tournament 10, he tried dismounting too early. And that probably honestly sold him a speed record on stage 2. He had so much time going into it. But nonetheless, 10 has cleared the second stage. That is now 8 runs and 3 clears here on stage 2 in SASUKE Craft Tournament 12. 2 competitors left to go on the second stage, and our next competitor wants to make it to stage 3 more than anyone. It's the veteran Norwegian, number 49. He was the last man standing of the last tournament and got second place. He wants revenge on that crank dive, which is what he failed in the last tournament, and if he wants to get past there, if he wants to get that, he's going to have to get past the super jump, which he's already done for the 3rd tournament in a row. Now time for some redemption. This is a jump he failed in the last tournament. He's done better than he did in the last tournament. And Norwegian lining up the jump to the 6th and final bar, which he's got. Just got to get the dismount. Norwegian is through. He has achieved redemption on the crank dive. Now time for the throwback. In Tournament 10, he failed the candle cling, but it's been made easier. So if he can get back there, he has a good chance of making it to stage 3. We've seen 2 clears in a row. Can we see 3 with Nor? Going through the triple compressor, beat this in Tournament 10 as well. And he's going to beat it again. Time for some redemption for Tournament 10. Norwegian line it up. He skips that first candle. And he's achieved a new personal best. And Nor walks off the 3rd candle. Norwegian is out on the candle cling for his 2nd time. The 3rd candle is what eliminates him again. No. Nor. Let's take a look at this run again. He was able to get redemption on the crank dive. Made it look so much easier than it was in the last tournament. And then here on the triple compressor, he flew through that. This was one of the smoothest attempts at the triple compressor all night. But then here, he actually landed on the candle, the 3rd candle, unlike Tournament 10 where he overshot it. But he just didn't get a jump off of that 3rd candle. He had the right idea, but he just didn't press spacebar, and Norwegian has been eliminated by the candle cling once again. Nor, you know he isn't happy about that, but still, good run. Well, just 1 competitor left to go on the second stage, and is Mr. 50 Blushy Baby Kai, the SASUKE Craft 3 and SASUKE Craft 8 finalist. Let's see how Blushy Baby Kai can do here on the second stage. Last time we saw him was in Tournament 10 where he failed on the candle cling, the 5th obstacle. Anyways, Kai barely makes it through that super jump. That was a very close call. Time for the crank dive now. Blushy Baby Kai overshoots the 2nd bar. Blushy Baby Kai is down on the 2nd stage on the 2nd obstacle. What just happened? Kai, he barely made it through that super jump. That was a very close call. And then here, he just overshot it. He didn't stop his momentum. He overshot it. Oh no. This is very similar to Tournament 5, where he failed the salmon ladder by missing the 2nd rung. And now he's done it again, but this time on the crank dive. Blushy Baby Kai is shockingly out, and only 3 competitors will make it past the 2nd stage out of our 10 attempts at it. And with that, the 2nd stage is over. Only 3 competitors can make it past. Number 30, Wipeout Boy 10. Number 46, Jack is Boom. And number 48, Your Favorite Hen. Now these 3 will have to face the toughest challenge that SASUKE Craft has to offer. Can any of them do it? We are about to find out. The 3rd stage is 8 of the toughest obstacles that SASUKE Craft has to offer. And it all begins with the brand new propeller bars. 3 bars that competitors must jump across without hitting their head. A very tricky challenge that has been introduced this tournament. Then it transitions into the silk swing, an obstacle introduced in the last tournament where competitors have to swing across 3 silks and then grab a rope to make it to the dismount platform. After that, it's the globe grass, making its 4th appearance in a row, and then it's the modified Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. Modified in the last tournament, the moving ledge is a lot harder now, and competitors must time it perfectly. Then it's another obstacle introduced from the last tournament, the Captain's Wheel. 3 wheels that competitors must spin to where the red rod lands on an iron bar. They must do 3 times and make very tricky jumps and to transition into the swaying windows, a new challenge of 4 swaying windows with different cutouts. Then it's the undefeated reverse panel. 5 panels that competitors must jump back and forth across to make it to the final obstacle, the unattempted dragon back. Like always, there is no time limit on this 3rd stage. We now have 3 of the strongest challengers left to take on this 3rd stage. Can any of them do it for the first time in the Reformation era? Well, kicking them off is Wipeout Boy 10, number 30, the new star. Fun fact, all 3 competitors that made it to the 3rd stage of this tournament are new stars, so no matter what, a new star will be getting 1st place for the 2nd tournament in a row, as Korsiko got 1st place in the last tournament. Anyways, Wipeout Boy 10 has begun the 1st attempt on the 3rd stage since tournament 10. He is already through the propeller bars, and he is flying through the silk swing. This obstacle is a lot harder than Wipeout Boy 10 is making it look, and he is already through into the globe grass. This obstacle has only ever eliminated 1 person back in the 1st tournament of the Reformation era, tournament 9. Wipeout Boy 10 is flying through this globe grass. Alright, heading through. 2 more down, alright. And he's got it. 3 more globes left to go. Alright. Wipeout Boy 10. He's got it. Now the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. It's been modified. It was modified in the last tournament, but obviously no one got there. No one even got to the 3rd stage. So he's the first person to attempt the modified Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. This is the modified part along with the design change. This flip, so difficult. He goes for it. Wipeout Boy 10 misses the flip on the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. This modified Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger is here to strike, and that is exactly what it just did. Wipeout Boy 10. Oh, no. He made the propeller bars look easy. He was flying through this 3rd stage. The first 2 obstacles were no joke for him. Or they were a joke for him, as he just made them look so simple. And then here, he made the first flip on the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger, barely making it look easy. But then here, he timed it right, but he just had too much momentum going in. You want to stop your momentum to land on that ledge. And just like Tournament 5, Wipeout Boy 10 has gone down on the cliffhanger of the 3rd stage. A very good run, though. He is guaranteed top 3 as Wipeout Boy 10. That's 1 run down and 0 clears. Well, there are just 2 competitors left in the competition. And the next competitor is making a 2nd appearance here on the 3rd stage. It is none other than the new star, Jack is Boom. The last time we saw him on the 3rd stage, he failed on the 2nd obstacle, the swing edge. That was back in Tournament 8. Now we are here in Tournament 12, where he's looking to set himself a new personal best. Jack is Boom. Let's see how he will do. We just saw Wipeout Boy 10 fail on the Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. Jack is Boom's never attempted an Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger. He blows the goat horn, and he's begun onto the propeller bars. Makes the first jump on the 2nd propeller, and now the jump to the 3rd propeller. He gets it. Alright, now on to Silk Swing. Looking to set himself a new personal best. Can he beat this obstacle? He's throwing a fishing rod there. It's levitating. What is going on? Jack is Boom just fooling around, throwing wind charges all over. Jack is Boom misses the jump. He's out. Jack is Boom is down on the Silk Swing, the 2nd obstacle of Stage 3 once again. Oh no! Jack is Boom. What just happened? Jack, he made it look, the first obstacle look so easy. He looks comfortable, and he was just goofing around, which made him look comfortable. Then here, after fooling around, throwing a fishing rod in the air, he just went for the jump and just completely missed. He did a different strategy than Wipeout Boy 10. Instead of wrapping around them, he went to jump in between the middle. And he just did it completely wrong, angled it the complete wrong way, and once again, he's down on the second obstacle of stage 3. Well, there is just one competitor left in the competition. The only competitor to attempt the third stage multiple times in the Reformation era, making his third appearance here on the third stages era. It is your favorite hen in the first place of SASUKE Craft 9. 49 competitors have fallen. It is all up to this man right here, your favorite hen. This is his first time being the last man standing as he has begun. Hen, traversing through the propeller bars. Did not face this in tournament 9 or 10. Struggling with the wrap there, but he gets it. Hen, now this is where Jack's boom failed, but he gets the first jump. He is guaranteed second place. But you know he's going for first place. Lags a bit, but he does make the second jump. And he lands on a third one. And now he has gotten through the silk swing into the globe grass. He beat this in tournament 9 and 10. Can he go 3 for 3 on it? He's on the third globe. Alright, and he's reached the fourth, the highest point of the obstacle. Your favorite hen traversing down. Now the jump to the 7th globe, going around, and then jumps too late, he's out! Hen has fallen on the globe grass. The tournament is over just like that. No! Hen, what just happened? Your favorite hen, oh no! He made the first 2 obstacles look pretty simple. He stumbled on propeller bars and had a lot of lag on the silk swing, but nonetheless still made it through. But here on the globe grass, he made going up look easy. Granted, it is the easier part of the obstacle. Still cannot underestimate it, but here he jumped too late. And it caused him to miss that 7th globe. You can see here he just jumped way too late. And your favorite hen for his first time has failed on the globe grass. And the tournament is over. 3 runs on the third stage and 0 clears. That is Zenmetsu. And just like that, SASUKE Craft Tournament 12 is officially over. For the second tournament in a row, 50 challengers came here with hopes and dreams of making it to the top of the tower and achieving Kanzenzeya. But unfortunately, for the 4th tournament in a row, no one could even make it past the 3rd stage and make it to the final stage. I would like to thank everybody who competed this tournament. This was one of my favorite tournaments to host. I really enjoyed watching and editing it. It was one of the longest times I took to edit a tournament, but it was all very worth it. The tournament was very fun to watch it out happen live. And I would like to congratulate everyone who cleared stage 1 or just did what they wanted to achieve in this tournament. This tournament would not be as great without you. From special guests like Jordan, the winner of MC Survivor, Cosme-sun, and then Clownable coming back, to Little Butter after missing out on the last tournament coming back. And then we had the All-Stars getting their revenge with 3 of them clearing. And then we had Trevor the Beast 5 become a breakout newcomer. Blush Baby Kai got revenge on the first stage. And of course, we had the 3 new stars make it to the 3rd stage. Congratulations to Jack's Boom for getting 3rd place, your favorite hen for getting 2nd place, and the golden competitor out of nowhere, 1st place is Wipeout Boy 10. A shocking turnaround result, but it wouldn't have made this tournament as great without this 3rd stage lineup. Although the 2nd stage was a bloodbath, these competitors still made it look a lot fun. The results were split out, and I'm very proud of how this tournament turned out. And I cannot wait to see everyone hopefully come back and watch the tournament 13. For now, I'm Ham Galactic signing out, and I'll see you next time on the ultimate survival attack, SASUKE Craft.